So,
hello. I just did a whole intro, but I forgot to transition screens. So this is awesome.
excellent.
PN2 predictions. We're here. I'm joined by Wags. How's it
Hello.
going?
I'm good.
That's really cool and fun and nice. And we have a new guest. Gus, how's it going, bro?
Hello, I'm going really well. Excited to be here. Love
Yeah.
laser tag.
Me too. That's why we're talking about it. I did want to ask. So I saw on the PN2 1 stats, you were like listed as Gus. Is your
Yep.
alias no longer Gustice?
No, it's Gustice. They messed it up.
is Gus.
I was Gus on the
Those
scoreboard as well.
guys. Those guys.
Whippet
I'm also
said it was someone else's fault, not Whippet's fault.
It's always someone else's fault, isn't it? I also noticed that. Well, I didn't notice. What's your name? Wax told me that
What
the
the
title
hell?
was wrong. So I'm gonna fix that in a moment, but I'm awful at multitasking. So I'll fix the stream title in a sec. But PN2 predictions, we're gonna do it the same as same format as I'm sure you guys are used to. PN3, we're actually going to be trialing something different. Might talk a little bit about that later, or I might not. We'll see how I'm feeling. But otherwise, we're just going to go through the teams from 18th to 1st in the order that we've predicted them. So Wax, Gus, and myself have put in our individual predictions, and the final prediction is just like a silly little point system to decide the final predictions. And yeah, we'll try and cover what we think the strengths of the teams will be, what we think they might struggle with, and then point out anything interesting. Yeah, do you, Wax or Gus, have you got any questions for me before we start? Or are we ready to rock and roll?
Ready to
Ready
go?
to go.
That's awesome. Now, also, you might notice new layout for the stream. Very cool. However, I suck at OBS, and so I don't have a non-jank way of transitioning to a screen share. So bear with me for a sec. Which way am I going to do it? I'll do the screen share first. Sure. Screen share that. Okay, so it's going to move everything, and then I'm going to go to my other screen, and then it looks a bit nicer. Does that look fine? I think that looks fine. Happy days. All right. Yeah, we'll get right into it, and then I'll fix the title in a second. Boom. Oh, I still have the cube animation. That's sick. I forgot about that. Yeah. Let's go. Anyway,
So good.
in 18th place, we have the Heretics. So we have Todd, Skyros, Vassity, Fizz, and Invictus was a late addition to this team from the Outlaws. So I had them in 18th. Wax had them in 17th. Gus had them in 18th. Now you might be wondering why on earth is Benny on there? It's because young Benny helped me out with making the slides, and then he jokingly was like, "Oh, you should put my predictions on there," and then I non-jokingly did. So here we are. Who wants to start off talking about?
Do you want to
Heretics?
quickly explain the red names, or?
Oh yes, true. So, in these stats, the people that have red names, it means that their stats are from pre-nats 1 in Albury. So the most like relevant stats, I guess, is the way I thought of it. Anyone without a red name, so like they'll just have a white name, their stats are just from the latest Zeltac that they attended. Happy days?
Yep.
Makes sense?
Cool. Yep.
Easy.
All right.
I'll get one of you to start off talking to us about this team while I fix the bloody title, because I am a silly goose.
Gus, or you got anything?
I'll take the next one because it's a Canberra team.
All right, cool. All right.
I think Invictus is a huge pickup.
Yeah, I think it is. It just depends how they're gonna play, because like I think Todd runs the team. I'm not 100% sure on that, but and he seems like an actually pretty decent player. So like if he can get Invictus into spots that like become like just as like a vice captain to try and help like run everything, like what I was seeing at Pre-Nats 1, like all right, Skyros runs the team. That's okay. That's the guy with the I remember now. Okay, the way that they were playing wasn't too bad as a team by what I was seeing. So I think if they like play in a certain way and like they know the maze, they've had some time on H2. I don't think they're gonna be punching any higher than 17th, but I definitely think that they could at least not come last, especially with Invictus as a pickup. It just makes them slightly better. It's just
Yeah, for sure. Like Todd's stats are pretty good there. So with
yeah,
Invictus,
they're pretty solid. Like 2 solid players, and if they can just get everyone else to work around it, like I think they could do not crazy things, but they could just do some things and then work their way through it.
And I mean, they're both home site players as well, right?
I think they're all home site players.
All home site players.
all home state players at least.
Yeah.
Home state, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess I think this team is definitely, in terms of like whether I think they could punch up or not, I could see, like you said, Wax, I could see them going up 17th, maybe 16th. But a lot of that is going to come down to how well they're going to pick up the Helios 2 system, because obviously I think Albury only just had it installed, so they'll have like an extra like 2 weeks, like, we'll say,
2 weeks
if we're being generous on the system to the rest of us rocking up, unless of course you're coming from Hobart. But I don't know, that could be like a little bit of a factor. You know, they get those first 2 sessions ahead. And yeah, I think that'll be a big part on whether they're able to like punch up a couple spots or not. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know.
I could see him punch even up to the 15th at their best, I reckon. I wouldn't be super surprised to see him do that.
Yeah.
Can't underestimate like the home side advantage as well.
No, that's true. And I think they're like, their like base stats aren't awful either. Like they've got 2 people above 1. So that's at least 2 bases a game. And then like Skyros and Vassity are like pretty much at 1 as well. So that's like 4 bases a game. I think the Albury players, at least based on how the Outlaws play, like to play a more defensive field point, not getting very many bases games. So, you know, if they're able to make that work, that'd be cool. And I mean, like the tag ratios are actually like, they're like surprisingly solid for a team like predicted like this low.
Yeah.
Usually we see with teams that are predicted this low, they might have one, maybe two players above that like 1.0 tag ratio. But we have like literally everyone except Fizz is above. And then obviously Invictus is like a pretty big pickup for this team, and he's got a
Absolutely.
very solid tag ratio there. Granted, take it a little bit with a grain of salt. Yeah, like Runt just said, we had the same thought at the same time. We noticed that the tag ratio stats for Prenats 1 in Albury in general were like way higher on average than like we would normally see, which I think quite a bit of that is just like the Nexus timing tings. So yeah, I guess take it with a bit of a grain of salt, but I mean we'll see how it compares to the teams around them anyway. I don't know. I didn't really. I think I versed this team once. I imagine like all three of us were on teams competing like on the higher end of Prenats 1. Did you guys get many opportunities to verse Heretics, or was it pretty much just that one time in round robin?
My most of my like vision on them would have been from reffing. Like I think I just would pop in ref a couple games, and there was a couple times that I saw these guys play, and just Skyros like was really good at just getting someone through a base. So if he can just like drag someone by the skull and just get them a base and then reset, like maybe they could do it like slightly better than last place. But I don't think there's much in the tank for them to do, but they definitely could do 15th, like Gus was saying. Like they could be up, move slightly up, but I just don't see it happening, especially with like Maze changes. Maze just changed. They just got H2. None of them had played H2 before. Like there's a lot working against them. So
yeah, I mean Invictus has played H2 obviously, but that's one player on their team has played on it. When you refed their team, did you notice anything in particular about like what did you ref like in their base?
I ref them attacking a lot, so that's kind of the vibe I got. I didn't really. I do know that there was a couple like weird strategic calls, and like from what I could see, just like players would be like, "What? Are you here still? Oh no," and then they'd come back again. It was just like a lot of like lost like puppies running around. So
yeah, the classic.
I just think if that can be controlled, like it could be okay, but I just don't see it being crazy.
How did their attack look when you saw them?
Skull draggy. That was like I said before, just like someone killing everyone and someone else shooting the base, like, and they pretty much did nothing, or like just crazy low end, like just shooting the base and people killing each other, or like just like the wildest stuff. So I think like it's just gonna be a bit. It's literally who does the wildest crap in the last like finals game is the one who decides these bottom three. Like whoever just gets away with the most stuff, pretty much is how it works.
Yeah, sick. Gus, have you got any last observations you'd like to make about this team?
No, that's pretty much it.
Just quickly, Ryan, your mic is like, I think it's slightly too far away. It's somewhat hard to detect your voice right now. It keeps cutting out slightly.
I might turn off noise gating. That's what I might do.
That sounds better. Whatever you like, just there. So
yeah, just even having a bit closer.
And I'll just sit closer to it as well. I'll put it right in my noggin.
Oh, your favorite person's here now.
Who's my favorite person? It's Benny.
Yep.
Let's go! I knew it. Hey, Benny. Thanks to Benny. He helped me put a bunch of these slides together because it is pretty... There's definitely a better way to do it, I'm sure, but the way I do it is super tedious and time-consuming, and Benny clutched up and helped me put that together. So that's why his predictions are on were included in the final ones.
Great job, Benny.
Great job, Benny. Round of applause for Benny. Good man. None of the deny stats are like particularly crazy either. Like, I mean, between getting almost like a deny per person per game, like one shot deny is like, that's pretty decent. And like, obviously we've seen plenty of times where games have been decided by one denial. So that's a good thing they got. And then the denied stats isn't even like that bad. It's not like wax bad at like 1.3 or something, you know? Wait, what was your, 2.2.
2.2.
Was it 2.2?
Yeah, pre-nets 3. It was wild. Hey, I got team denied in the finals. That's not It's not on me.
Didn't Gus? Gus, didn't you
Mine
have
is
a
2
really bad denial start?
Mine's 2.0 for Prenuts 1.
Only good
That's
players have above
sick.
2. Changed my mind.
I shot the base a lot though.
All right, we'll see who else is at 2+ denials per game on them. I know, I respect it. I'm definitely big on the miss every shot you don't take.
I think it was mostly like one game in green where I just had like 11 or 12 or something though.
That's all you need. That one game. All right. Well, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about the Heretics, unfortunately, because again, didn't get to the opportunity to verse them very much. But yeah, we'll see you soon enough, and we'll see what you've got. Anything else before we move on to 17th?
Looking forward to you guys proving us wrong.
Yeah.
Please do.
That is
Yeah.
always
do.
my favorite thing.
Absolutely.
I love, like, if I say something rude or if any of us say anything mean, just take it as fuel. Just prove us wrong, be better. That's it. That's literally it.
It's the service we're providing. Yeah, also, I'll say quickly, so we've got 18 teams for Prenuts 1, so I am going to try and smash through these a little bit quicker than I normally would as well. So if you feel like we've kind of like rushed over your team or rushed over something, yeah, nothing to do with you, all to do with the fact that I don't want to keep you all for like 5 hours. So yes. All right, moving on. Cube animation, 17th
Nice.
place, we have Guppy Gang. So on the team, we have Finn, Angel, Kaz, Azoran, and how do you pronounce that, Gus?
Nivier, I think.
Nivier. Sick. I had them in 17th, Benny had them 17th, Wax had them 18th, and Gus had them in 15th. Wee, big one. Gus, tell us a little bit about the Guppy Gang.
These guys have been training super hard. Finn and Azoran are on Dragons this year. So they gotta represent, pull their weight here. I believe in them. Finn's an absolute beast. Zoran's like learning really quickly, kind of like hasn't played a lot of super high level games yet, but I think he's going to do really well. Kaz, I think, has like gone to pre-Natses in the past, but hasn't gone to a Nats yet.
Yeah, I couldn't find their stats anyway. I feel
Yeah.
like I recognized it. It was, must have been a pre.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon these guys will do a bit better than where they're predicted. I hope.
Is Finn gonna captain or?
Yeah, Finn's captaining.
Okay. What's the like vibe of this team, just so we can kind of like, what's the roles and like how do you think they're gonna play and stuff?
So I don't think they have someone set in mind for last lining. Finn kind of does a bit of everything. I imagine Azoran's going to be probably attacking mostly. Nivier has been like training so much in Canberra. She's been like improving so much. She's so annoying to play against now. Probably going to be holding base stores. Angel Azoran maybe attacking, or Angel Finn.
Okay. And Angel's the
Zoran-
person who went to Hobart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Azoran, like I'm gonna guess you're about to say, Ryan. I've watched a lot of games reffing him, and he was actually doing pretty well. Like he was pretty solid, and I'd watch him and Nickel attack together, and like,
Yep.
There was some goofy moments, but like when he was going, like
Goofy,
when he was doing some good stuff, like he was actually like doing pretty like all right. Like they were taking games in Prenats 1 off people they should not have taken games off. Like
Yeah,
it's
absolutely
kind of
true.
wild.
Any goofy moments in particular you can remember?
I was reffing a red game, and he was switched, and then got a comm and went to go through the hole in red, and shoot someone through the hole, and got the gun stuck in the hole. Took the gun out aggressively, and then dropped the gun. It got stuck on someone else as they ran away. So the gun
What?
flew through the air. It was actually wild. Like everything went wrong. It was actually too good.
So good.
That's sick.
But,
Surely
like,
someone clipped that on stream. That's wild.
There is
I
a clip of it. I saw
there
it.
is.
Yeah.
Sick. We might pull that
Except
clip
for
up.
that, like genuinely, his gameplay was actually pretty good. He needs to watch his arm though, because I'm going to term him if I decide to ref at Prenas too. But like, other than that,
That was his
like,
first like proper comp, and
Yeah.
I don't think he realized that you're not allowed to put your laser through over a
Oh
barricade.
yeah, that's fair.
Can someone in chat try and find the link to that clip while we're still talking about the Guppy Gang, because I really want to see it.
Good meme.
But otherwise, yeah, what I was gonna say is Azoran, yeah, he's got some like the average score is like not amazing, but like he's got some decent stats, like and above. Again, a lot of people had pretty decent tag ratios, but above 1.0 tag ratio, the 1.2 base average is like pretty decent. And he's almost at that 2.0 denies against, which is what we want to see in any
Yeah.
awesome
Golden
player. So just get denied a little bit more, and you'll be amongst the elite.
Gus level denies. Yeah, pretty close.
Oh yeah, people can't send links. Ooh, actually, I can. Okay, I can like see the link anyway. So let me pull this up.
Are you watching it live?
Yeah, why not?
I hope so.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I'm hopeless.
But yeah, I think this team will be like actually pretty. Could be. It's the same thing as Heretics. It's like all these teams down the bottom.
Yeah.
And it just depends on Sunday who does what, and then it goes from there. All right, red base. Watch red base. This is.
I'm watching red base.
Yeah, Nivier said she's got a stack of barrels in her backyard now, and she just practices like hiding behind it all day.
Okay, nice. That's sick. Hold up. It's kind of hard to.
It's not as bad as I remember, but
It's not as bad as you made it seem.
the
They
player
definitely-
kicks it. The player kicks the gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't see the gun like flying across the base and hitting the wall or something.
Yeah, that's still sick. That's awesome. Good on him.
I like just started laughing. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Let me go back
So
to my
good.
bloody slides. There we go. Sorry, the stream looks jank as hell when I'm swapping between stuff. I need to figure out how to make that look much nicer, but it's on the agenda, everyone. Dope. Cool.
Nice.
Guppy Gang. What else? We said kind of what we expect to see from them. What from training is there? Obviously, these are your comrades, so you don't want to give too much away. But is there anything that you've noticed in training that they struggle with a little bit?
Like they don't really play together at home too much. Like we did a bit of training the other week, and they're playing against like the Dragons, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Will they
No,
struggle
I
with
get it.
attack after their main two go out, or is Angel pretty good attacking? Kaz okay at attacking? Like, what's the kind of vibe with that?
I think probably like either Finn or Azoran will probably be attacking, helping the others.
Yeah.
Is what I imagine. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like they're all pretty good at attacking.
But you said they don't really have like a defined last line at the moment. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, not that I know of.
Yeah, I think.
So yeah, maybe defense will struggle more than attack.
Yeah, I think the last line in position in Albury
Very important.
is
Yeah,
very
true.
very important, especially like green and red. Like your last line can kind of carry pretty hard if they're cracked, and then also
Yep.
the way the bases were. Obviously, I think there's been some changes to the blue base interior, but the way the bases were at Prenet's 1, if you had like a good player in there, like if they were having a game, they wouldn't even need like comms. They could do some serious damage from there. Green was a little bit harder, but I think given how important the last line position was in Albury, they'll need to kind of switch on to like who they want to be their like main last line, I guess, or like a couple people, or their defense is really going to struggle. Benny's, what's up, Benny? He's gonna don't just say my name and then give me 10 years before you say what's up. Tell me what's up straight away, Benny.
Yeah, so the angled walls are straight in blue base now.
They're straight.
Yeah.
Are they in the same place, or are
I think they're a little bit different, fairly close.
I know, Run. I know. I'm still mad.
Yeah.
We can blame Cairns and Cyrex. That's who I'm blaming. Throwing them under the bus.
Yeah. I was surprised when I heard the blue interior change as well, because I think
liked the blue interior.
Universally, like it seemed like everyone really, really enjoyed. Like it seemed like people felt like the inside of the blue base was like the best part of the whole arena. It was super fun.
Except Kansas and Cyrex, apparently.
I guess so.
Under the bus. Thrown
sure-
under the bus.
I'm sure they had their reasons. But you know, we'll see how this new one plays out. Maybe it'll be just as fun. Yeah. But anyway, where are we? Gappy Gang. Have either of you got anything else you'd like to add about these guys?
Yeah, watch out, they're coming for you. I don't know. That's probably it.
Boys. Yeah, dope. Well, we'll move on to our 16th place team. Best of luck to Guppy Gang. Yeah, look forward to seeing what you got. Home. 16th, we have Olympus. On the team, we have Wildcard, Trav, Dart, Blue Lee, and Cool Beans. So I've predicted them 16th, Benny 16th, Wax 16th, and Gus in 17th. So we're pretty much all universal on that one. Does either of you
Start?
Yeah, you can. You may.
So from what I know, Wildcard's going to captain. And I reckon Dart will probably be first out, or maybe Cool Beans. I
Maybe
think
both.
I think Cool Beans was doing a lot of last lining. So hopefully he commits to that, or they just work something out where it actually goes. But I think this team's gonna definitely is a team that could just things could not work well, and they could be 18. But they also could be slightly higher. Like they could be maybe even higher than 15th. I'm not sure what the 15th, 14th mark is, but I think this team could fall apart because it's hard for them to do anything. Wildcard is as you can see, the tag ratio is nearly 1. It's pretty good. His bases are 0. His bases are 0, and he's going to be captaining. Zach is amazing.
Hobart nuts, I think.
That is true. But I think that if Zach is attacking as the captain, it might be a bit difficult to start with. And if maybe they can work it out, and maybe the flow is going well, and they just bounce off each other really well, maybe this is Wildcard's calling. Maybe he just gets off Rampage, starts captaining, and he's becomes amazing at laser tag. But I think this team could just crash and burn very quickly. And the way that some of the people on this team think about laser tag, it could just be they could think that they're going to do amazing. They don't do amazing, and then it could go badly. And I don't know if that's going to bite them in the ass or not. But I think at the same time, the stats on Dart actually had a pretty good pre-nats. He came up to Queensland not too long ago, and he was doing really well in training. Not really well, but I can see him getting better. I can see him doing well, and just the things he does. Cool Beans came up as well, and Cool Beans I think they were here for 3 days or something. I don't remember exactly, but they trained every day, and I could just see from day 1 to day 3 it was slightly there was an improvement. But Cool Beans, if he seems very intelligent, so if he can kind of vice captain the team and last line and try and control people and where they are and all that, it will just be, I think it'll be good for the team. And if he can keep people I know Trav has a little bit of he gets a little bit angry, but he actually did pretty well at Prenats 1 to control himself. So I think if Trav can give good comms to Cool Beans, and then Blue Lee was a little bit quiet on the comms, but I think he was doing okay on a door, just holding it down. But I just think if they can get a certain couple things working well, and if whoever Wildcard's attacking with and how that dynamic works could be okay, they could go up a little bit. But I don't see this team having the skill to go above 15. I think there's a cap. Maybe I'm wrong.
So
We've got
Wildcard,
Cool
Dart,
Beans.
and Cool
Yeah, yeah,
Beans
yeah.
all came to the Canberra comp we ran last weekend, and they all looked like they were playing really well. Way better than I was expecting. Yeah, I
And
think
was
Cool Beans had really
Wildcard,
good game
captaining
sense.
that
Dart
team?
was really fast. So they weren't all on the same team. It's kind of
Okay.
a little bit of a mix. So Wildcard and Cool Beans were playing with Finn, and then Dart was kind of a late pickup and joined a random team.
Yeah.
A bunch of players from Guppy Gang were on that team.
I mean, Zam was just saying in the chat that all of these guys have been training like multiple times a week as well. So they're putting the time in. And you're not training multiple times a week if you're not super determined to improve, right? So
and flying up to Queensland just to play laser tag, like that's
that's a lot of they're putting the time and effort and money in. So I'm really excited to see how much that's paid off. And I just really the base stat from Cool Beans and Dart is actually like pretty good, like real good.
Yeah, true.
Denies like
0.0 for Bluely.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, denied.
Easy.
Yeah.
Just locks them bases down. Goddamn.
Yeah. So I mean, like the base stats are like pretty impressive. But yeah, I'm very very much looking forward to seeing whether all this effort that they're putting in like pays off, and how much like H2 kind of throws them out of whack. Because I think Wildcard has played H2. I don't know if Dart was Dart at Hobart.
Dart was not at Hobart.
The bottom three haven't played H2.
Right. So there's a little bit of H2 experience there, but yeah.
But I think they're literally at Albury right now. I'm pretty sure. So they already have played it. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Where are all these players from, by the way? Like Wildcard Sydney.
Everyone is Code Red except for I think Bluely's Albury, but I might be misremembering.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure Bluely also could be a new league player that's Code Red as well.
All Code Red, Bluely is too. Oh, cool.
There you go.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Have either of you got anything else you'd like to add about Olympus?
Just work it out. That's all I want to see.
Especially.
I want to see them just work it out and just because I think this is going to be their Nats team. So they just need to remember it's Pre-Nuts 2. It actually doesn't matter and just play to get better. That's it.
Yeah,
I think these guys do have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Especially if they get like a bunch more Helios 2 time, Maze time, and home Maze time, or Albury Maze time.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah, keep putting that effort in. Like Wax said, these pre-nuts tournaments, like the results really don't matter. The only result that matters is how much you learn from it. Yeah, if this is a team that's going to be playing together at Nats, make the most of it. The more you get out of this tournament, and if you play pre-nuts 3, the better you're going to do at nationals. So head down, bum up, and we'll see you soon. Best of luck. Moving on. 15th place, we have Crippled and Co. So we got a Adelaide team. So I guess it's about time I start actually talking about, huh? So on the team, we have also, it might annoy you, I haven't put these stats in like any order. I think it was literally just the order that they appeared on the spreadsheet. So they're not ordered by GRC or any other stat. Yeah. Anyway.
Come on, Benny, pick your game up.
Benny.
Blame Benny.
All right, Benny. No, I did these ones. That's on me. But on the team we have Pendragon, Stonk, Ninja, SSG, Pogsley, and Exile. So a bit of a mix mash team. I had them 15th. Actually, all of us had them in 15th, except Gus had them in 16th because he gave that illustrious 15th spot to the Guppy gang. But yeah, so obviously we can see Pendragon and Ninja both attended Pre-Nuts 1, so they've got some exposure to the arena already. Pendragon playing with, I believe he played with the Heretics boys. And then Ninja was playing with the Meme Pex, so aka Apex with Zam.
With Ninja, yeah.
Well, Ninja is on Apex now.
Is Ninja on Apex now?
Oh, yeah. That's official.
Nice.
So what we actually have, do a cheeky leak of Adelaide time. So we have Pendragon, Stonk, and I believe SSG are all Aegis. Ninja is Apex, and then Pogsley and Exile are on a newly formed team called Aces. So we've got a bit of a mix mash here, but they've actually been training the last two weeks together, just trying to build up some, get a sense of like where they want to play their players. Who's going to be running the games and stuff, which Ninja will be the one running the games. And yeah, I guess in terms of some strengths I foresee for this team. Obviously, we know Ninja has proven himself at the highest levels multiple times in a leading position. So I expect him to, like, with the team being predicted this low, we would expect his stats to be. I'm expecting some pretty crazy stats from Ninja at the end of this, especially like in that position of leading the game where you're going to be in the points the whole time. It's this Helios 2 with no trigger lockout, so you're not going to be getting like shut down by like door defenders, like what happened a little bit at Prenet's 1 because of the Nexus timing. He's very good at running people through bases. So he kind of does it in a very traditional fashion where he'll go out and attack, run people through bases, do the best he can to not get his bases. Multiple times in training, he's like walked out with like he hasn't gotten any bases, but he's managed to get the rest of his team bases. So very traditional in that sense. So I think their attack won't be like super weak at any point because he'll be out the whole time.
Yep.
And then outside of that, like between Pendragon, Stonk, SSG, and Exile are all. Well, actually, Stonk has actually been attacking quite a lot more recently. So I would say, Pendragon, SSG, and Exile are definitely the main like defensive players on the team.
Stonk did just say in Twitch chat that she's not coming.
You're not coming anymore. Oh my goodness. Anna King's playing instead. Right. Okay, that's cool. So panicking is we have a second laser tag site in Adelaide. It's about like an hour away from Megazone Noarlunga. But we're starting to get. Yeah, look, I forgot, Claire. Give me a bloody break. We're starting to get more and more players from there interested. So obviously Pogsley was the first game lobby player we had. And now we've got a second game lobby player, Panicking, or Ethan, who is joining the ranks of the Nationals squad. So that's very exciting. This will be nice. His first tournament outside of Adelaide. Pogsley and Panicking have Helios Pro at their home site. So I guess in terms of like the no trigger lockout, that'll be something obviously the timing's different, but the way no trigger lockout plays will be like more familiar to them than it would be to us Nexus foe. So that's something they got going for them. But yeah, I don't know. I think they've got a good spread of defensive and offensive players. And it'll all come down to how well, again, they adjust to Helios 2, the arena, and I don't know. What else have I got to say?
I think it will be interesting to see if Ninja can like get people through this base. Because I think when I looked at it first, I just saw Ninja and Exxon, and I was like, oh, this is a pretty decent team. But like looking at it now, there's not much attack presence other than Ninja, and Exile, like you keep saying, is a broken old man. And like I just think there's gonna be. Can I just before I forget? Did they have to take 6 just because of injury? Like they have to take 6 because someone could die at some point. Like I mean, it's like always a risk.
I mean, that could have been factored into it. As far as I know, it was just they had 6 people that wanted to go, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the conversation. I mean, we've got a bunch. We have pretty much all of them in the chat right now, so they can let us know.
That is true. Yes.
Also, Mantis pointed out the irony of them being called Crippled and Co. and Stonkers had to pull
Someone's
out.
Already,
so that's funny.
But just like looking at the base stats, like Stonk's not playing. God damn it! Like. Pendragon had a 0.4. Pendragon was playing on a team that they don't usually play on, so they're probably not going to be they're not going to get as many opportunities to attack and stuff. So that's obvious why that 0.4 is there. But like SSG is not attacking. Pogsley, like if Ninja works out someone he can attack with, like Pogsley or Pendragon at first, like, and they work out a flow and like what they want to do, like it could go alright. But I also like at any time someone could just like take a little step slightly to the left and then the wind could blow and they just fall over and like pass out, like and break.
Just break a leg,
like
who knows?
But at the same time, like the stats aren't bad, but I just definitely think, like I keep saying, the bottom 5 teams just anywhere, like anyone could just be last. Like Ninja could try drag skull some of these people through some of the bases and stuff if they need to. But I think if the game opens up to more than a 4-5 base game, I think it's an issue for this team. Like, I think it's going to be a problem.
I think that's definitely fair. And I think a lot of why this team I had in 15th was just the ninja factor. So I think
it'll be
not
interesting to
say that-
see him captain again.
It will,
yeah, for sure. I mean, he captained the spare parts team in Hobart. He played with like Guardian and Ness and stuff. So he's kind of, I think he's used to. I mean, he's been playing with Apex since Nationals, but the whole being on a team where you have to you're gonna have to do a lot to be able to get to this 15th place. Yeah, that's something he's familiar with. Not that everyone on the team is dead weight. I'm not saying that. But yeah, Ninja is a very, very, very good player that's, played at the highest levels for quite a few years. So expect big things from him. But yeah, I don't know. Have you guys got anything else you'd like to add about Crippled and Car?
No, I think that's pretty much everything covered. Yeah, probably Ninja is their power player, and if he does get injured, these guys might be in a bit more trouble.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Nail on the coffin.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Best of luck to these guys. Keep training. We've got one more training. Actually, well, we have one of our second qualifier tournament on Monday, which they won't be playing together, but they'll be playing. And then we have what we're calling SAPL because we have no imagination, which is our kind of like our regional.
Did you steal our name?
Yeah, we did. We just put an SA.
You got to pay for that. Thank you very much.
But it's funny because we say SAPOL for the South Australian Police, and it's like almost SAPOL.
What's the PL stand for? Players
Premier
League or something?
League.
Premier League.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Queensland
It's like
Premier
a stage of tournament to kind of bridge the gap between league and starting to train for nationals. Because currently it's
cool.
you go to league and then suddenly you're at NAS training and you're getting flogged. There's not a good bridge for that. So
we needed to change ours because it was in the North versus South, but we wanted to be all everyone's loves laser tag. We're all playing, so now it's QPL and we're all one league instead of fighting each other. So now we play with Sunny Coast players and all that jazz. So
yeah,
it's a lot better.
Cool.
Anyway, cool. Looking forward to seeing how they go. But we'll move on to our 14th place team. We have. I love how cooked it.
I hate it so much. It hurts my eye.
I mean, it doesn't look good on my screen, but it looks passable on stream. It's god awful, and I love it.
Does it actually look okay on stream? Because it looks so bad.
So on mine, it just goes like that, and it's done. But on the stream, it's yeah, it's sick. I love it so much. Anyway,
I like it too. So this is L8 Jet Still Chaos. So I think this is a committee team. I don't know. I just fucking butchered it.
Say it again.
It's Agents of Chaos. Agents of Chaos.
Okay. I'm just gonna call them agents for sure.
Yeah, that's
a long ass name. Committee team.
I don't think it's actual proper any other language. I think it's a little bit thrown together. Or it could be Latin, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows? Someone fact check that. Someone type that into Google and see what it spits out. But yes, we have them, agents, in 14th place. On the team is Simi, Shifter, Plank, Lycan, Four Eyes, Big Red. All of us had them in 14th except Gus. Gus, you're continuing to be the outlier, mate.
Yeah, any team with a dragon on it, I have to put up a couple of spots.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I get it. I respect it. So as we can see on this team, Shifter is the only one that has attended the Albury Peanuts 1. Outside of that, all of these players have Helios 2 experience, so that'll bode well for them. And I think that's yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. My brain just went.
I think this team could actually do really well. I think if depending on who's the captain, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be Four Eyes. I could maybe see it being someone else. Like Simi could do it, but I think Four Eyes is going to probably be one of the main attackers on this team. It'll either be Four Eyes and Plank or Four Eyes and Bread. That I could
So
see.
last I heard, I
happening.
think Bread is not coming.
Oh yeah, Bread's legs like.
Yeah,
I was
Bread
literally gonna
did.
say this. Bread hurt himself, so it's kind of
Should
disappointing.
have put him on the crippled and code team.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say.
Hey.
But I think it could be interesting because like watching Plank play, he's crazy, but he like gets things done. Like he kills some people, he does some things. Like he's gonna kill someone, like actually by accident by running into them. But he seems like a pretty fast player, which I think is good in Aubrey. Like speed can be good here. Rise is a bit slower now, but if he can like work out a way to like get himself into bases and stuff, I think it could like the dynamic could work really well. I don't know who. Maybe Shifter will be last line. I'm not sure. I hope Shifter's last line because they always do well in a base. But
From what Shifter told me, everyone on this team is like a last line or a defender.
that is
Kinda true.
really
I mean, surely not playing. Surely
Plank.
Plank can like Four Eyes. Like
Yeah,
is,
Four Eyes
knows-
can definitely
yeah,
just do
Four Eyes
anything. Yeah.
Can do
Yeah.
everything, and I feel like is Plank.
I think it
not a
definitely-
attacker?
I think
crazy.
Plank is. I'm like confident in that. And Four Eyes like used to, but not as much anymore. But maybe I don't think it. Like I think the way that Plank works is you let the man's run around and you just play off him because he's just doing crazy stuff. So like I think the dynamic could work really well with the two of them.
Yeah,
It
true.
just depends. Like I think this is just a very defensive team, and that's fine because I think on two of the bases, that's genuinely a good strategy. Maybe not on blue, but I think on green and red, like being defensive is going to be really useful. And I think if they can
Yeah.
have Shifter in a base doing their thing, and then like good comms, you're going to have good loud comms on each side of the door. So like I just think it could be good, but I also think
Oh.
it could.
Or just get a last liner in every base and hold all 3 bases the whole game.
The thing is, some of them are defenders, but they're not last liners. So
Yeah, true.
So will be interesting. I do think it's a bigger maze, so it might be a bit of a struggle. Because I didn't like and hurt her foot at Nats or something, so she was hobbling around. So if that's something that's still an issue, maybe she might struggle to. So they might only be able to play an 8-base game. But I'm not sure on
Possibly.
I'm sure it's just not still injured.
Yeah, surely not, but you never know. Like it could
I mean,
be.
unless it was like that was an existing injury that she already had that just flared up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of captaining, like surely I would expect Four Eyes to take the lead for this team. Being probably the more capable player, I guess. Like he's, Four Eyes is another player that's been up there at the top many times.
If not captaining, then definitely like calling games.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, his stats are. Did Four Eyes play Hobart? Are these his Bendigo
Yeah,
stats?
I think Four Eyes was on like one of the bottom couple of teams. Was kind of like in that ninja position
Yeah.
where he was
He
just kind of
was, I
carrying
remember.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like Four Eyes is obviously stats are a little bloated from being like a top tier player playing not at the top tier, but like still very impressive. Like clearly getting bases and stuff. What else? Tie ratio is okay. He's improved on his denied against stats since Bendigo Nuts. I remember Bendigo Nuts, he had the highest one, and it was pretty egregious. It was crazy. So he's really dialed that one in. So well done, Four Eyes. I don't know.
I think this will be an interesting team to keep an eye on, and like they could just fall apart because they just can't nail like one aspect of the game down amongst them, or like maybe everything will just gel really well because like they're all very solid players on the team, so they could even be a few places up.
It's definitely like a good vibes team. Like
Absolutely.
even just between Lycan and Four Eyes, like they are the chillest people you're ever gonna meet, and I feel like that really rubs off on people. So I think chill is good because what chill means is like when you have those really rough games, you're gonna be able to walk out of those games and have like a good like head screwed on chat about like what went wrong and actually improve. It's not a team that's going to be blowing up at each other because something went really wrong, but then they because they blew up at each other, like the problem doesn't get addressed properly. So
Yeah,
even
true.
if like maybe initially the teams like starts off a little bit lower, I could see that being a thing. I would expect them to be able to be at 14th at a minimum. I think they only drop below 14th if like a team above them don't like just has a really good tournament, or if they
Yeah.
have a really bad tournament. That's the only way I
I
see them
think things
dropping
could
below
just not
14th.
work because I could see this team only being able to get like 6 bases, if not less. Like, I think it could be an issue, especially if red is going to be as dominant as I think it's going to be. Like, I could just see that like it being more of a base race to try and keep up with red. I just could see this team struggling to get more than 6 bases.
So Sarek said that Bread's coming, but he just might not be able to play. So there's a chance he'll be good to go.
He's been walking on his leg, and he comes to training and watches, but he doesn't play. So he might be able to like pull it
That's
out.
commitment there.
Well, he just like all Queensland teams just shuffled, so everyone's
Yeah,
commitment's at like an all-time high right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Have we got anything else about this team we'd like to add before we move on?
I think even just thinking about it after we've just been talking about it, they'll probably maybe end round robin a bit lower than this, and then probably climb through cascades. I reckon.
Yeah.
Once they kind of sort out whatever it is they're doing.
100%. Well, best of luck to Agents of Chaos. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you all. Good luck. Moving on to our 13th place team. We're going to wait 5 seconds for the thing to transition on stream. Here we go. Yay. It's done. We have Wildcats, so we have our first Hobart team. We, once again, everyone had them 13th, except Gus had them 14th. So on the team, we have Sega, Mantis, Rizzler, Celery, Bubbles. So we've had Sega and Celery that played Prenuts 1. Sega was on the Warriors, who had a really good tournament, and they took a lot of games off of some good teams. I know they were undefeated against my team Aftershock until the last day. So they got some good experience from that. And then Celery played on the Reload Cowards with Runt, Twinkles, Moldy, and Cheru, if I'm not mistaken. So he was able to actually get some finals experience as well. So I think this is our first team that's got someone that was in the finals at Prenuts 1, which if he's able to, he played the most in that arena during that tournament. So between him and Sega, who also again had a really good tournament, I feel like that'll give him a big leg up on teams below them, or teams and players that haven't played this arena yet. And then also obviously
Hobart
the Elephant
plays Helios too.
Yeah, I think that was I actually really struggled to place this team, because I wasn't. Obviously, we saw Hobart. We saw the Hobart guys able to just they were just wiping the floor with everyone. Even the Archangels team were taking some they were really taking it to teams that normally you wouldn't have expected. They had a really good tournament, and so it was hard for me to place them. I don't know about you guys, but how much you factor that in tournaments outside of their arena that are still on Helios too.
Yeah, especially
so
with a shorter tournament as well. There's not enough time to
Yeah.
train to warm up on the packs again. So it is going to be a big advantage. And
Yeah.
And then looking at the stats for Sega quickly, I was looking at them and I was like, oh, they seem a bit he's at least score seemed a bit low because he was main attacking, but then I was like, maybe it's just Nexus. Maybe he's just not as good on Nexus as he is on H2. So that will all be improved at Prenuts too.
He was getting denied a little bit as well. 1.3 is not awful, but it's a bit there. I think the other thing that made it hard again was if it was a full Hobart team, I definitely would have had them a couple positions up, but with it being 3 Hobart players with Celery and Bubbles, not that they're bad players, but just players from different states. That's always an interesting spanner in the works, though. As we've kind of said on the streams previously, we feel like the whole mixed teams thing isn't as much of a factor as it used to be.
I think
Yeah, I mean,
looking
all
at
of
this
the
team again, I can't believe I put them 13th, and I don't remember who's above them.
yeah,
But
we'll see who's above them. It might make sense.
Yeah, I think all like I was just looking ahead a couple, and like all the next teams are all really good as well. So
yeah, okay,
I
that's
think that's
probably
why
why
they're
they're 13th. Yeah.
yeah.
I just don't. This,
Shifter is definitely gonna really want to beat this team, especially if they're kind of like around the same spot, because it's got the other Darwin player as Bubbles.
That's so true. The bloody this is like the hidden competition.
This is the
amongst
hidden
Brits.
rivalry. This is the real comp.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean obviously like Celery and Bubbles both played Nats in Hobart as well. So,
Yeah.
like Bubbles was on the Dingo, Celery was on 1UP, so there's plenty of Helios 2 exposure there as well. Even though they don't have it at home. So I don't know. I think they got a good
I think
good spread of a team.
they have a good setup as well. Like the only thing I can kind of see is maybe last line. Like I don't think any of
True.
them are last liners, but Celery was doing a bit of last lining at Prenats 1. I'm not sure if Mantis last lines, but I think she might.
I think Mantis did do some last lining in Hobart.
Yeah,
I think she's mainly like a door defender float kind of character because she always had like really rich field points and like good tag ratios, and then just like I remember versing Archangels quite a lot, and we always happened to be around the same area, kind of doing the same thing. So
yeah, they smashed my team like every time until Cascades.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, until Ascensions. Yeah. In Hobart.
So Brendan Runt saying that Rizzler anchored, or sorry, I almost slipped up there. Last lined Green a fair bit in Hobart, and Albury bases is kind of similar to defense. So yeah, maybe they put Rizzler in the last line position as well. But I don't know. I feel like they've got plenty of players that are capable, like to fill the position, even if they're not main last lines, which makes things like pretty flexible for them. Like if they need to take their last line out to get bases, it's not like the end of the world. Like they've got someone else that can fill that position.
True.
I don't think they're going to have any issues of like people they're hiding away in their defense because they're going to be hard to run through bases. I think all of these people, they're going to be totally fine getting bases, especially the Hobart guys. Like they're very well versed in hitting those phases. So I expect, especially earlier on in the tournament, like Sega Mantis Rizzler to kind of just be walking into bases as people remember how sensitive those phases are.
True.
Yeah. I definitely think this team as well has like a lot of attacking presence. So like it could just be a very like if the Maze plays like I think it's going to on H2 and with the changes, I think there's going to be a lot more attacking because like defending is actually going to be very difficult at blue and green. So I think like getting bases is going to matter, and they have 5 players who I can maybe not confidently say they will always get 2, but they're definitely going to get they're going to get some bases. So I think it's like good pack score all over the board. Like I think Bubbles as well. Bubbles was doing really well at Hobart. Like I think he took a lot of his gameplay took a hit from trying to help Darwin players through and help Darwin players learn. And like, I think if he's just playing with these players who are a lot better than his team at Nats, he could have a lot better experience and just like be able to play more freely and actually get more value and like just like be a better player individually. And I think that'll be interesting to see.
Less focus on like captaining.
Yeah. And like Celery as well. Like I think he hasn't been at the top like end ever, and he like at Prenats 1 he was in the finals, so it was like a big learning curve. So maybe he could have just like taken a lot from playing with Runt and Twinkles, and just like maybe he's learned a bunch and he can just take it to this team and like try and explain how that they were playing and how it was working and why it was working. And I just see this team as very vibey as well. Like I don't think they'd have a fight. Like everyone in here is very like chill. Like it's just going to be a fun time. And if it's not a fun time, I don't think they can get worse than 13th. I think this is like if they are beneath here, I think there's like major issues happening.
Something's gone very wrong.
Yeah,
100%. I think it's definitely like not 100% remembering who's ahead of them. I could see them probably climbing like 1 or 2 spots if they have a good tournament, but
certainly,
I think
definitely
this tournament
good
is
potential.
very top heavy. Very top heavy. There's a lot of really good teams at this tournament, so Is there anything else we'd like to say about the Wildcats?
No.
Not really. Just keen to see how they play.
Yeah, me
Yeah, I
too.
think this will be definitely an interesting team to keep an eye on.
Alrighty. Sorry, I'm just burping up my dinner. Bear with me. Oh. I had spicy chicken wings at the pub.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, they were really good. They're very yummy. All right, moving on. 12th place. We have the Sharkies. We have the return of some old farts. So all of us except Wax had them at 11th. Wax had them in 10th. On the team, we have Method, Flash, Drake, Mushu, Arbel, and Stinky. Does anyone feel like talking about the Sharks?
I'm keen to yap
Yeah.
a little bit if just for a
Same.
second.
I've
Have a
played
yap.
these guys a whole bunch of times over the last like 12 years.
Yeah. All right, well, yeah, take it away, one of yous.
There's literally, it's wild seeing them in 12th. You know what I mean? Like, it is actually crazy that we collectively decided to put them here. But
I
I'm
think because all the other
keen
teams
to
are also really good.
yeah.
Like this
I'm
is a
keen.
good team.
I'm keen to see how they come back because I think a lot of them have taken a lot of time off, and it'll be interesting to see how they come back and play. Actually, maybe not even that many of them. Mushu, Albel, and Stinky, Drake played. Just Flash and Method. But
Mushu
with
didn't
how
play Hobart, did he?
Mushu played.
I think Mushu had a
Home.
couple of years off.
Oh no, he
Mushu-
played
Mushu-
pre-nats. He played pre-nats
Yeah,
3.
he played it.
That's what I'm
Nice.
remembering.
Okay, yeah.
I think like this team could be this team could be so much higher if they are just like have been playing and practice. This is just me thinking that they have barely played because I have not heard anything about them playing. Do you guys know if they have been or not?
I think Method is in the chat, or at least he was before, so he might be able to enlighten us as to how their training's looking in WA at the moment. But I haven't heard anything myself.
Yeah, I like this team could do so much better than this. Like they could be like, I'm not sure. I can't remember all the teams, but they could be like top 8 at least, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, there's no world where they don't just come back. Everything's working well. I think Arbel's a great addition. I've always like Arbel is such a like solid player, level-headed. He'll like give good comms, give good value. Like just overall a very good, solid pickup. Like Stinky
Yeah,
as well.
reliable.
Like I think Stinky. I'm not sure if he had the craziest. Is this Nat? These are Nat stats, right? Like he didn't have the craziest Hobart, but that's like a pretty solid stat line there. Like for a new-ish player. Like, and if he's taking it up a step and it learnt from nationals or still training, which I think he is, like pretty like well, like.
This is the Nats lineup without Mushu with Rogue.
Okay. Oh, they're coming to Nats. Wow.
Yeah.
WA.
Welcome back. Yeah, surely. I mean, Method said no spoilers, but I'm assuming this is a team that they're playing for Nuts with the Mushu swap with Rogue. I think it'd be safe to assume that they're training, which is very exciting. Yeah, a lot of these players we haven't seen for quite a while. I think. Yeah,
I can't wait to play against these guys again.
Yeah.
Such a good time.
It'd be interesting to see if they can come back and like kind of suck a little bit and deal with that. Because if they like come back, suck a little too much and can't deal and just start like getting mad, it could be an issue. But if they come back, remember that they it's been a while and everyone has gotten better, like, and they're chill about it. Like it could be a good experience. Because I think like with Method and Flash, they're going to be the head of the team. Like they will be the spearhead. Like they'll be involved in everything. They'll be one. I think Flash will captain probably. Like they'll be a lot of the team, and they're loud. And if they're not having a good time, like it could be an issue. But if it is fine, and they remember and they don't get smashed and they ease into it, like they could go crazy. They could get 3rd place, like good old times.
This is like the classic team I think of when I think of like 2 attackers going out and getting 4 bases in the first minute and a half.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
Method and Flash is doing that every game.
For sure. And I mean, Yeah, even outside of that, like Arbel's like no slouch getting bases as well. Like you see his base stats like pretty crazy.
True.
Pretty good there. Mushi loves a good cowboy. Though he's been kind of rocking the defense a little bit more in recent years than they used to, I think.
Yep.
Gus, you versed these guys like a bajillion times. Have you got any unique insights for us? Anything you're feeling?
Not particularly. Like they're just a solid all-round team. They don't have any like super weaknesses unless like something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just used to let Method and Flash take our base and then stop everyone else.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's literally all you have to do, and then it shuts down from the top end.
Yeah, and I guess like I don't know, obviously being general here, if that's how they end up playing, like the old get 4 and kind of lock down the game, if that's how the arena plays out, then that'll bode very well for them.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously Method and Flash are a classic dynamic attacking duo, so we expect them to, even if with a few years off, expect them to still be doing pretty well. I think everyone here has played Helios 2 at some point as well, right? Like, did Mushu and Method play that Pre-Nets 3 in Hobart?
No,
With
just
Flash?
Mushu. I think.
Just Mushu? Okay, so maybe like Meth and Flash have no H2 exposure, but the rest of them do. So, you know, that'll do them some favors.
Yep.
In that regard. That being said, yeah, their two main attackers, Method and Flash, being the two people that haven't got Helios 2 exposure, could be interesting. Because I think,
Especially with their deniers as well, that could be an issue.
yeah, and I mean, like, if you look at their stats, like, they're traditionally like very like that's a very good denied against stat. You know what I mean? For like how many, for being like the main attacking players on the team, only being denied like around 0.64 average between them. That's very good. But it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that up with how how easy it is to hit the H2 phases. But also maybe their bases will be super easy because maybe they get a good grip of getting the phaser shots themselves and they're just walking into bases. I mean, probably not walking, probably knowing the two of them, like running in rather quickly. Yeah, super interesting to see how they go. It's a team that, yeah, we can see like, I don't know, fall apart a little bit. I wouldn't see them going below 13th, just because of like the sheer strength of the players on it. I would no way I see them going below 13th, but yeah, could definitely.
Not unless
see
there's like
going
some
up.
major breakdown.
Yeah, 100%.
I think in like a less stacked comp, these guys are like a top 6, top 8 kind of team.
For sure. And yeah, these guys being here is like, again, just speaking to how like stacked the top end of this tournament is.
Yeah.
Have we got anything else we'd like to say about the Sharkies before we move on?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think we said everything.
Oh, all right. Moving on. 11th place. We have the Outlaws, the home site heroes. So Benny and I had them in 9th. So funny. Benny and I had them in 9th, and then Wax and Gus had them in 12th, giving them a final one of 11th. So we have Pat King, Siracle, Vexum, Kempster, and Brownie. And it was Invictus up until recently, but he's playing for that Heretics team for this tournament at the very least. Obviously, all played Pre-Nuts 1. All of these players played in Hobart, so they have H2 exposure, and I don't know if it's like finished yet, but I'm pretty sure like last week sometime they got their Helios 2 installed, so they're gonna have a bit of a head start on the adjusting to H2 on everyone else.
Couple of weeks at least.
Couple weeks with the small arena changes that were made, and kind of getting a feel of how it plays on H2. So I think my initial expectation, I guess this is something I really have for home site teams in general, is they'll start off like high. I could see them being a few spots up.
Yep.
As that advantage is kind of, you know, most potent, but then once people catch up, like the teams above them are just so good, man. So I think they're going to struggle against like the teams in the top 10 above them. But do you guys have any Any observations yourself?
I think you're absolutely right. These guys played really, really well at the start of the last comp, and then kind of towards the end, the other kind of top teams started beating them a bit more. But like, I hated playing them. They're really hard to shoot. They really knew their way around the maze. Yeah, they're a good team.
For me, I just think they're very strategically lost. Like they never look like they really know what they want to do / are doing at any point. They always seem very lost when I'm reffing them or versing them. I don't really. It seems like they have a game plan, and as soon as it goes slightly different, it just like falls
Yeah.
apart, and it's just like hacking, pointing places, and things happening, and it's just from memory, I'm pretty sure Circle was supposed to be captaining, but I think Packing's too much of a. He's very like he likes to. He's still got that in his blood. Like he wants to captain. He still wants to run everything. But he's telling people to do things that aren't exactly what Circle says. But I'm not 100% sure if that is like true or not. If Circle is the captain, but I'm pretty confident he was supposed to be. But like there was some good things that I saw, like Vexham in a base playing switched at Old Blue and Red, like was amazing. Like it was really clean. It was very good. He had some good timings. Like he looked very clean.
Yep.
Brownie was doing pretty well at Nats for his first nationals. Like the stats aren't too bad, but like obviously he's probably improved. I don't even. Oh no, that was from the pre-nat stats. I don't remember actually seeing him play. So, but I just think like with this team, if they can work out a good flow and they can actually have trust in whoever is captaining, if it is Pack King, if it is Sirical, the calls that are made, like actually just follow through with them, and like they're gonna
Maybe
have
just have a more cohesive plan to start with.
yeah, maybe that. Like Camstar, I haven't even spoken at Camstar. Like he's crazy, but like I don't think he got to do as much at Prenats 1 by the looks of it.
I think
But
he was last lining, and he was a beast under some of those bases.
yeah, okay. It does. Yeah, that does make sense. By the stats there, but like,
Yeah.
if he can get out of the base and they commit to someone, like genuinely watching Vexham, I think he could be a pretty decent last line from what I was watching.
Yeah.
Especially in the way that Aubrey Mazes play, like they suit his play style by the looks of it. At least two of them. Green might not, but
I don't think
Green-
green suits
Blue and
anyone's
red
play.
were very
Green-
so
yeah.
true. Blue and red
Yeah.
are definitely like if you're a quick player with a good switch hold, I think that's the best way to play those for sure.
But I think
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like I remember the games that we versed them, we being Aftershock versed them at Prenats 1. It felt like they were just very heavily committed to defending for like way too long in the game.
Yeah, they were
Um,
like quite a defensive team, more defensive than I was
Yeah.
expecting.
And being defensive is like fine, but you have to be able to recognize, okay, we're getting good field points. This is sick. Okay, they just gotta like even if you're not dropping any bases as a defensive team, you have to really be careful of the bases that they're getting. The other two teams are getting on each other because if they're
Yeah.
exchanging on each other, and then they've got like let's say 3 or 4 bases on each other, and then you've got 0 bases, and you still haven't like switched into like a more like trying to catch up, like if the other two teams don't like panic and like just both dump to your base because whatever, if they do something silly like that, then sure, like that's fine. But most of the time, especially the teams above them, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I
They
think
need to
one of the
know when
things
to
we
switch gears. Yeah,
we realized about this team as well is like they weren't ready to adapt to like if something weird happened.
yeah, 100%. I think, and it kind of like Wax said, like it seemed like there was a lot of confusion and like when even if changes were trying, like someone was trying to make changes, it wasn't communicated well through the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree. Like with Firebird here, saying that Campster in last line is a mistake, and I definitely agree. Like he's obviously like 1.91 tag ratio. Like he's obviously doing a super good job last lining in these bases, but I feel like he also happens to be like one of the strongest field pointers, if not the strongest field pointer on this team.
100% the strongest field pointer on this team.
Yeah, so I think other people can last line even if it's not as good as Campster to like a very good level, like we were saying with Vexham. But I don't think anyone else on the team at this point, at least based on what we've seen so far, is going to be able to pack point even like nearly as well as Campster was. And also, yeah, he can put a pace on. He can really get into bases as well. So.
Yeah, Ron just said they finished round robin in 8th and finished the comp in 8th, and that Cam was really good on H2 as well.
Yeah. So, if they can find a way that they can communicate through their team, like when and how they want to transition into like a more base oriented game. After starting in a defensive game, if they can figure that out, maybe let Campster loose. I could see this team doing some good things and taking some scouts. But
True.
yeah, at the moment, I think 11th, like the teams above them are so good. Like it's going to be really hard to get higher than 11th without making some changes like that.
Yeah.
Have either of you got anything you'd like to add about Outlaws before we move on?
I don't think so.
I hope that they, from what I was saying before, I just hope that they like go into this comp and they try and like learn as a team instead of just like, yeah. From what I saw, there was just a lot of like misguided things and stuff. So if they like have good conversations, work out their kinks, work out how they want to play, and then they can bring back Invictus, or maybe there's an issue. Who knows? Oh my gosh, twice. But if it's just nothing and they can work out how to play without Invictus, then bring him back in. Invictus can just slot in. It can just like if they just need to work out how they want to play, because right now they've got zero clue how they want to play, and it was a bit of a disaster whenever I saw it. I might be misremembering, but whenever I saw it, it was a bit of a shit show. So I just hope that they can work that out, and then that.
Yeah, I think these guys, like, especially with their home maze advantage, like transition to like having a plan and playing against those kind of top tier teams. Like, I just don't think that they're missing some like small X factor.
Yeah.
Because I think those guys,
it's
these guys
just knowing
could do
when
it.
to adjust, knowing how and when to change to a more aggressive strategy.
Yeah, that
I
could
think.
be it.
I also, on the topic of like communication and having good team chats, I feel like I remember seeing this team a few times kind of like getting at each other's throats a little bit as well, which is not how you...
Not productive at all.
It's not the best way to like sort out a bad game. Yeah.
No, not very productive. That's for sure. So don't do that. Easy.
Communicate better in game and out of game about your emotions. Share your feelings, but
Share
not
your
in a
feelings.
not in a negative way.
Yeah, be nice about it. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Cool beans. All right, moving into our top 10 teams, we have Hooli Troopians. Wow, what a name. So Benny and I had them in 12th, Wax had them in 9th, and Gus had them in 8th. On the team we have
cooking.
Pug Salad, Ems, Hazmat Carton, and the Butzer. Between these players, only Pug Salad was at Prenats. Excuse me. Prenats 1. What team did they play on? Do you remember who Pug played with? Prenats 1?
This team.
I don't remember.
Pretty much. It was like hooligans instead, though. It wasn't these
no one
players.
else was here. Yeah.
Well,
No one
it's
else
like
was at Prenats 1.
it's the
So
team
same
name.
team with different players.
It's hooligans. They just added a hoop. Hula hoopigans.
Right. What team did Pug play on for Prenats 1? Was it? I know it was with Brock.
It was Little Bo,
It was-
Brock, Chalk,
yeah.
and Pulcrum.
Ah, yes.
And they got 4th? 5th?
Nah.
5th. Because Apex got 4th.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We got some of the young up and coming guns from Queensland with one old fart, one really, really old ancient fart. I don't know. Wax, what have you got to tell us about this team? Have they been playing together in preparation for Prenup?
Well, like I always say, like Queensland mixes teams, but I think there's been some less mixing because of prenuts and trying to like practice for nationals and do certain things recently. So they have been playing a lot. Like Pug always gets matched with like his nationals team, which is Hazmat and Carton. Butts has been training again, which is nice to see. Ems is always like Ems, Pug, Hazmat, and Cardinal always at training. Never like miss a training. Very like always there. I think the improvement from like you can see when the vibe of like the team they have right now, Riptide, is like all like really good players, and it's just a vibe, and it feels like it's like helping all of them want to play and improve and get better. And it just feels like they're improving so much, like at it, like just slowly, like getting better every week and whatnot. And I just think like I put them ninth because I feel like this team could do really well. It just depends. Like they'll Pug will run, Hazmat will last line. I think Pug will end up attacking with Butzer maybe, but Butzer could also play mid, and I think that could work pretty well because I don't think Carton or Emmy don't really play mid, so I think it's gonna be Butzer on mid, and maybe he attacks first with Carton or Emmy, and it this team could actually do really well. Like Hazmat stats are so like average, but I don't think that like represents him as a player. Like maybe it was Nats, but I think the jump from Nats to Hazmat now is like actually like crazy. His standoffs have gotten so good. Like he's just like he's very solid in a base. Like Pug is bad though. That's not like Pug is just garbage. Like
Yeah,
he's
fair enough.
trash. Like he loses every standoff to me because he's just washed up. That's it.
That's sick. Sorry.
Like
his,
I think
his denied stat isn't
high
close
enough.
to 2.5.
He's
Yeah, it's not
bad.
high enough.
That kind of checks out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the way like this team could do really well, or maybe it might not work. Maybe they're not there yet. They're still like they're. It's like the Queensland thing. Like they're very good pack on pack. They're very good at making the movements, doing game stuff. But they're in a game. Is that what happens in a game? Like, are they going to be able to like put it together in a map in an actual game? And
Yeah. When I saw this team, I was like, these guys are all like young new players. They're really good, but they're missing something. And I saw Butzer was there, and I was like, well, he's going to bring the leadership, the experience. They're all going to be like fast and young and really good. So yeah, I put them really high. They terrify me.
Yeah, and we were talking before about Pug Solid Wax. Something about it. Is he going to Worlds with you guys?
Yeah.
Or am I crazy?
yeah.
And did you say he was going to captain Worlds, or am I
Yeah.
cooking?
Yep.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, if the Catalyst boys are sorry, Vantage, I should say, for Worlds, having,
Undecided.
okay, if the Wolfpack guys are having Pug Salad captain their team, then obviously, he must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's saying something for sure.
Yeah, I have like all memes aside, like I don't want to see his red little cheeks right now inflated, but like genuinely Pug is really good. Like I just think if he can learn how to put it together as a captain, because he genuinely wants to captain, he wants to get better, he wants to be he wants to be really good. If he can like put it together well and like actually keep his cool, learn from everything, god damn it, learn from everything that he's doing at all these pre-nats, actually like learn, use your brain properly. Don't actually just like play the game. Actually think about what you're doing. Think about how do you want to captain. Think about how you want to run the game. Think about who you're playing with. Like he could be a really like solid captain. That's obviously why we took him for Worlds. But like, I genuinely think the way that if this team plays well, like they could do really solid. Like genuinely. But it's just like the transition to H2 as well. They got to remember that there is that slight, what's it called? It's not lockout. What is that like? You know how on H2 a live player has the tiniest advantage. They just can't sit on like a Hobart player. They can't sit on someone with really good timing. They actually have to like panel and do some good movements and stuff. So as long as they remember all those things and like think about the game well and have good team chats, I think this team could go really well. Except for Butzer maybe running off, but like I think with how the maze is going to work, mid play is going to be very important and very like determining on who's going to win. So Butzer's running off, but he's getting bases or helping someone else get a base, then it could.
Butzer gets value from running off, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Cool.
I don't know, Gus. Have you got anything else you'd like to say?
No, that's it. Playing against these guys makes me feel old and slow. That's it.
Yeah.
Makes me feel old and slow. I drop once now, my knees go out, and I'm like, God damn it! And Pug's just
Yeah.
like bouncing around, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah. I don't do the old drop shots very much anymore. Only in the most important of moments do I whip that one out. Jeez. Yeah, sick. Well, no, always super keen to see like, young up and coming players in tournaments and seeing how they've like progressed since the last time we see them. So yeah, I don't know. Go get them. Have fun. Play laser tag. Cool. Moving on. Ninth place. Speaking of old farts, we have one up.
Hey.
Crutchy, Gunner, Guinea, yeah, and Snake. Benny and I had them 10th, Wax had them 11th, and Gus had them in 9th. Yeah, all of these players were at Pre-Nuts 1. I think it's the same roster, except Dan was at Pre-Nuts 1 and Dan's not coming to Pre-Nuts 2. Yeah. I mean, everyone's above 1.0 tag ratio, which is what you kind of expect from the one-up guys.
Yep.
The bases, like between Karachi Gunner and Morrow, very good.
Solid.
Denies against. Morrow's getting pretty close to that elite 2.0 tier, but everyone else is kind of slacking.
Yeah, a little more work to do there, Morrow. Come on.
A little more work to do there. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of Pre-Nuts 1, obviously. I mean, one were predicted first, right?
They were, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
Didn't really pan out that way.
It did not pan out that way. But then watch us put them in 9th, and then they, for whatever reason, just
They'll come first this comp for sure.
They play real hard and play some laser tag, and then they end up making finals or winning. That would be really funny. But yeah, I don't know. Have you? Do you guys? Yeah, Wax, you got something?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk. Like, we are definitely over exaggerated, like in the Pre-Nuts 1 stream, but I definitely did think they'd do a lot better than they did. Like, especially with Nexus and stuff.
And I think Runts nailed it in chat there, saying that Nexus is their best system.
Yeah,
I think that's probably why they were.
That's the crazy thing is they're just coming off their best system onto a system that they weren't terrible at. But where did they finish at Nats? Was it like 9th or 8th?
I think it was pretty similar around there somewhere.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a solid result.
They were definitely in the top for quite a bit because I remember.
Yeah, they were.
I think they fluctuated around a bit.
I remember they were pretty high for a bit, but then they started versing like the harder teams and just dropped off a lot. But I think especially with like the way that one up plays, it's a bit.
9th.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see because like I still think Aubrey's too big of a maze for one up. It just feels like they don't have their. Something just doesn't feel right. Like at Pre-Nuts 1, it just wasn't like the way that they wanted to play. It was just very like they would run out of base, and if it wasn't working, they'd just keep running out of base. But you can't do that on Nexus, so it might work better on H2. They'll probably have Snake in last line.
Yeah. Crouchy Gunner will be out.
Crouchy Gunner will be out. Yeah, we'll be pushing. Like I think there's a solid lineup here that they could do a lot better. It's just so. It's still so weird to me how like I definitely think they would do worse than first place at Pre-Nuts 1. I just didn't think they would do as badly as they did. I don't know exactly why they did as badly as they did. Maybe like lack of training.
They had to verse my team like every game on the last day.
Right. And you guys are just like so much better than them.
We were beating them. I don't necessarily think it's because we were way better than them. I think we just worked out that maze a bit better.
I think, as Firebirds pointed out, obviously the one-up guys don't really have a home scene at the moment.
Yeah, true.
The Victorian scene, unfortunately, still has not recovered from COVID. So if they do train, it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't.
This is their training, Pre-Nuts. So,
yeah. So that's definitely like a big factor, and I think, like, with how much everyone around Australia the rest of Australia is training, like how many like new up and coming young guns there are, how competitive the top is. Like it's really
Yep.
hard to be able to compete without a home scene and being able to train like every week.
True.
And I think just every year, it's biting them in the ass. But yeah, that being said, like I said before, Hobart, like Cascade 1 and 2, they were up there. I think they were the only team at Hobart Nuts that Aftershock didn't beat until like the last day or something. We'd beaten everyone else, and it was just the one up guys. So they were doing something right. But I think there's definitely something there. You were saying, Wax, with like the arena being too big. Because when I think about it, every time I've versed one up, it's felt like their attack and their defense have been very like separate. I feel like I don't really remember times where there's been like Crouchy Gunner attacking my base, and then all of a sudden like Guinea or Morrow are like shooting me in the back from like afar. Like I don't know.
They play 2-3 more religiously than us. Like
Yeah.
I
feel like
did
that-
see
that
them
hit
kind of
rate is missing
adapting
a
to
bit.
that towards the end of Prenats 1, though, I think.
Okay.
I think like Guinea and Morrow are both pushing up to whichever base when their base was quiet
Okay.
a bit more. Yeah, which I think was working for them a little better.
Well, I don't know. I guess it's a team. The
This
Ultimate
is another
Dice Roll
team.
can see
I
them
reckon they
doing,
could just
like,
prove us
better.
wrong again and just like smash it this comp.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else to say really.
I think for me, they just need to like reprove themselves. Like I put them low, and if they can like learn from Prenats 1 and like do better than they did, then like I'm here for it. Like, but I just think the performance at Prenats 1 was just so average on a system they're better at.
Yeah.
True.
And I just think it's just
And that was
like,
a big part of why we had them up in first in the predictions was remember the one up guys being like crazy, like very strong on Nexus. But, anyway, have you guys got anything else about the one up boys?
just some more dynamic gameplay, and I'll be happy. Like if they are even just trying things, I'm here for this.
Yeah, don't let like Nats and Prenats 1 damage your confidence. You guys are still first place in my heart.
Thanks, guys. That's very nice.
That's just got you.
I love these guys. These guys are great.
Nah, they're cool. They're good blokes. Good blokes. Alrighty. Next, we have in 8th place, Fans Are Us. Another team that I personally really struggled to place. But anyway, Benny and I had them in 7th, Wax had them 8th, Gus had them in 10th. And on the team, we have CV, Easy Points, Leper, Karen, Jellyhawk, and David Morgan. All of these people are Hobart players, so obviously plenty of H2 experience there. And
Yep.
yeah, Easy Points, Karen, Jellyhawk, and Captain Morgan were all on the same team at what do you call it, Prenats 1 with Sega on the Warriors, and they did really well.
Yeah.
They did really well. They were taking games off of everyone.
True.
So given that team did really well, you know, obviously they lost Sega, who's like really good, like he was captaining like super well and did a lot of things for that team, but you know, they've lost like going from Prenats 1 to 2. This team's lost Sega, but they've also picked up CV and Leper, which, you know, you could pick up worse players, I guess.
Yeah, solid pickups.
Yeah, they have the CV like winning literally every event in Hobart except Lord of the Rings. Yeah, dude's cracked. And Leper,
True.
Leper had a kind of like Leper had a very good nationals as well. He's kind of like the unsung hero, I think, of the Vikings in
Of
a
the
way.
Vikings,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure like they released that like Nemesis stat, where it was like the table of like the top 15, 20 players and like who shot them the most. And I'm pretty sure Leper was my Nemesis. So that guy's living in my head rent free right now. Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys struggle placing them as well, or you kind of?
I just struggled because it's like it's Vikings without like their two strongest players. So it's very interesting to see like how it's going to go. Like CV could be better than Twinkles, like depending on how you look at it. But like you've lost the 2 attacking players and gained Jellyhawk, who's defensive, Captain Morgan, who's defensive. Easy Points is more aggressive from what I remember, but it just depends how they want to play. Like if CV's going to run like with Easy Points or whoever it is, like it was hard for me to place them at first, but I think maybe I put them slightly too low, but I can't remember exactly the teams above. But like they're just going to come in swinging because of H2, like instantly just like start like picking up names instantly. Then it just depends if they can put the games together. That's going to be the main issue. So we'll have to wait and see if that can be a thing that they can do or not. They have all the parts. They just need to put them together. They have like Jellyhawk last lines as well. So they have like Aaron, who was last lining at Nats, Jellyhawk. It'd be weird to see where Captain Morgan will fit into this.
So Prenet's 1, they had Captain Morgan last lining in all the bases.
Okay.
So even though Karen, Jellyhawk are very, very strong last lines, they had Captain Morgan in the last line the whole time. So they might do that again, or they might value the last line position more, and so they'll put a main last line in like Karen or Jellyhawk. But I think it'll be Karen they put in there, because I think Jellyhawk Prenat's 1, I seem to remember, like, got decent stat, like he's got a 1.1 base average, so it's not crazy, but also his denies against was 0.1. So that guy, like, when he was getting to bases, he was getting them.
True.
And I also remember watching
one piece of advice is get denied more Jellyhawk.
Yeah, obviously.
2.0, come on.
Yeah, no, Jellyhawk, very good. And Easy Points, as far as I'm aware, was the one that was like lead attacking Archangels in Hobart. So I wouldn't actually be surprised if we see Easy Points continuing to like be the in-game leader, like lead attacker for this team. And if that's the case, that kind of frees up CV and Leopard to really like bolster the rest of the team in a way. You know, they're not going to be like, CV won't be so focused on trying to run the game that he can't like fix issues in the defense he sees, or, you know, CV's for the Vikings was playing more of like a door defender mid kind of thing. So he was able to do that here. You know, specifically, I could see CV. Actually, I know 100% where CV is going to play. He's going to be playing between green and red, if they're green or red.
Yes,
100%. That is like
1,000%
area. So whether, like, depending on which base they are, I could see CV like really helping their team get those green and red bases. Who knows? Maybe they do something crazy when they're blue. They chuck CV in that area anyway. If he's doing that good in that, but that just feels like a classic CV lockdown area. But yeah, I don't know. I think again, all of these people being like Hobart players, all of them like, you know, strong Hobart players. Like Jellyhawk's really, really starting to prove himself. Karen obviously was on the Vikings. He's, you know, won more nationals than I have. So what can I say? Yeah, I don't know. I can see them doing like definitely climbing a couple positions, but once again, it just kind of speaks to how crazy the what's it called? The teams above them are. Once again, my brain's frying.
I think this is definitely a team that could go up a lot higher though. Like this is definitely a team that could like it could just all work, and they could just go, and it literally like they could be top 4. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if that was a thing that to happen. I think there's some teams above them that they could just do worse, and this team could do better.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I feel like no one would be surprised if they made into the top 5. That's for sure.
True.
And I think also, again, like just given like the Helios 2 advantage they've got at the moment, I can see them being a team that is in the top 5 at least at the start of the tournament, and then maybe if these other top tier teams are able to like adjust quick enough, or they adjust to the arena better, then I can see them dropping out of the top 5. But who bloody knows? Yeah, it's pretty tight on the top end. It's gonna be very exciting. That's for sure. Anything else? Nah, I don't know. I think they kind of they fill all the holes pretty well. I think they'll do just fine, no matter like how the meta ends up going. Cool beans. Anything else, boys?
No.
2.38 GLC, as Benny points out.
Yeah, pretty
Jelly
solid.
Hawk is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. He had a very strong pre-nuts 1. Mikey still talks sometimes about a game where Jellyhawk put him in the bin. Pre-nuts 1, so.
Actually rent free. Holy.
Yeah. It was like, Mikey, hasn't it been like 3 months since then?
Man is scarred.
That's funny. All right. Best of luck to the Fans Are Us. Really looking forward to seeing. I think the big question, we'll talk about it again when we get to the other Hobart team, but the big question in everyone's mind is like, are the Hobart guys going to be able to keep up how good of a performance they had in the home arena on H2 in other arenas on H2? So it's the big burning question, I think, and this is a good tournament to kind of get a sense for it. Cool beans. 7th place we have other team, open parentheses, Canberra, close parentheses. On the team, we have Gus, VG Masters back, Dragon, Garn, Nufa. Benny and I had them in 8th, Wax had them in 6th, and Gus had them in 7th, giving them a final placing of 7th. Gus, what have you got to say for yourself?
I don't know. This is probably where we'll finish up. There's a lot of really good teams. I just went through the list and was like, I don't think we can beat a lot of these teams.
What have you?
Yeah, glad we got VG this time.
Yeah, I think VG is obviously like VG year after year has been proven like what an absolute gun he is.
True.
I feel like I remember like pre-nets 1 for Hobart. VG was there, and he like stats wise didn't look like he had as good of a tournament. And everyone was like, "Ooh, maybe like VG's not so good on H2." And then he like came back for nuts, and then he would just like wipe the floor, and it was like,
he smashed it.
Like, he's fine. He's cool. Yeah. What is there? I think
I've just noticed a glaring hole though. What's the vibe with last line for you guys? Because I didn't even really notice that. Yeah.
True. Huh?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. We'll sort it out when we get there.
Everyone will just like, when we do a little walk around to the arena, everyone will stand in the base and goes like, yeah, I kind of like the feel of this. I'll do it.
Or like last lining's too hard. We'll just dump every game.
I could see
that would be
happening.
Very left of field and unexpected. Guys, I want to talk about this a little bit.
Okay. Pretty black and close, deep and meaningful.
So, Adelaide used to have the reputation of being like the dump state, because we had that 1 year where Respawn in 2015 did actually dump like every game, like especially like once they got to Cascade 2 or something. So we had that reputation. That mantle has now been passed on to you guys. What are your thoughts as someone from there on that reputation? Because people say like, oh, like, no, they don't actually dump every time. But then it just happens to be literally every time I hear that, there was literally a moment pre-nets 1. I was sitting there with the Aftershock boys, and then we were talking with someone. I can't quite remember who, I'm sorry. And then we're like, yeah, I feel like, Canberra doesn't dump every game. And then me and the boys looked at the stream, and you'd literally just dump. Like, we saw all 5 of you at another base, and we were like, what's that then? What's the deal? I'll stop talking. You do some talking. What's going on?
We don't even dump that often. I don't know where the reputation came from. I think we just play into it. Or, like, we just dump enough games to like piss off some Queensland players or Rampage. They complain about it a lot, and then they're like, oh, Canberra dumps all the time. It's not proper laser tag.
Like, for me, this year you guys didn't dump. Like, I don't even remember seeing it. Like, I literally was like saying how much better your normal game had gotten, to the point where it didn't feel like you needed to dump anymore. and it just felt like you would dump if it needed to happen. And I'm okay with that, but like they're not even the dumpers anymore. It was Spartans and Storm at Nats. Like
There was fun.
Queensland should have the friggin' dumping reputation right now.
I think they
change the
saw how well it
story.
worked for us a couple of times and like, we could do that.
We gotta change the narrative around. We gotta palm off this this reputation to the Queensland guys now, Gus.
I agree.
I'll
I
We
do
never
not
dump.
want it.
Canberra
I teach
never
all the new
dumps.
players dumping's bad.
No one be prepared for a Canberra dump. That's all my takeaway is.
Yeah,
It doesn't happen. Also, Garn wanted me to mention that it's his first Nats.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was not the other day. Today, I was cleaning up this, and then I saw his name, and I was like, man, I can't believe I said on stream that it was Garn's first nationals. Because
Neither could I, considering like you guys swapped shirts like
I know.
3 or 4 years before then.
I know Garn.
So funny.
A little history. Garn was actually my very, very first jersey swap back in 2015. And then we just kind of forget each other's names. We just go like shirt guy because we swapped shirts, and I felt really, really, really bad because we had this special connection, and then I just gone and
You ruined
completely
it.
Did him?
blanked
You
on
actually?
You
Jesus.
did.
I feel bad about it. I'm actually sweating right now thinking about it. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry.
He didn't take it personally. We all think it's very funny.
It is very funny. It won't happen again. Yeah, so I think what I noticed you guys did do at Prenats was it wasn't a dump. Okay, it wasn't a dump, but we noticed there was a game we lost to you guys, and we lost it to you in like the last few minutes, where we'd made a point of like making sure we had like a bit of a presence at your base, like for the whole game, so you guys wouldn't feel not that you would dump, but you would go pretty aggressive with like 3, or like kind of like spread out with your team towards like, especially between green and red, like where it was pretty close and easy to do. Like if there was no pressure on you, you could like do a big spready to the base closest to you and get some really easy hits that way. And I remember there was a game we dropped to you where we had that presence at you, so you didn't feel as comfortable doing that. And then as soon as we alleviated that and we started doing things at the other base, like you got like 3 hits on us at the end, like in the last few minutes of the game, and we ended up losing because of it. So you guys, they don't dump every game. They do sometimes, but they do like, I think you like your little aggressive like executes, we'll call them. It's a little bit,
sure.
it's more thought out than just like a dump.
I think that's something we really picked up in Hobart, like blitz takes, like defenders kind of bubble out for 30 seconds when the base is a bit quieter and take a couple of bases, or help the attack take a couple of bases.
Yeah, 100%. So I think that's a bit where like that reputation still comes from, because obviously in a game you're defending and then all of a sudden you see like 4 Dragons players at your base, you're like, oh, they've dumped. You know what I
Also
mean? So
we'll
I think
just
it's
pick a
very-
team at the start, just off the roster, and we'll just dump every game against them.
Okay,
That
so-
is toxic as hell. Holy. I can't believe that is that. Please. I
No,
will
that's a
pay
joke,
you.
that's a joke.
Okay. I'm gonna say,
Okay.
don't let it be catalyst, please. I'll cry. I did want to say though, like obviously the thing before, like your last line is going to be an issue. Like it is genuinely going to be an issue,
Yeah,
and I don't see anyone being able to fill it well.
I think we'll be okay.
I also think the other issue is going to be like I saw a lot of Nuffa like doing Nuffa things and walking off and like not listening and doing his own
I
thing.
saw a lot of that as well.
Yeah, and I was gonna say this to you:
Crazy.
is this something that like does VG Master usually attacks with you? Right? I'm not misremembering that. Like that's a thing that like he
Yeah,
would
VG Master usually attacks, not even necessarily with me though.
Okay,
Like I think in
Um,
Hobart it was mostly like VG and Finn attacking
okay.
first up.
Like, I think this team like if you guys could actually do really well if the meta works how I think it's gonna do, as long as you like play tight with 4 and then like do your quick pushes and stuff. Like I think like you got some good pack players that can score some, like everyone's tag ratios are good. Like I'm just worried about last line, Nuffa running off, and like if the game slows down too much, I think that could be an issue for you guys. But we'll
Yeah.
wait and see. But I think you guys did pretty well on H2. Like you got 6 on Dragons. Like that's
Yeah.
Like VG didn't play Prenuts 1, but I'm sure he'll just pick it up pretty quickly. Like he's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. He's nuts.
I think if you guys work out the small little things, I think you'll be chilling.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if you can go much higher though, unless you guys work out a way to play that works so well for you guys, and it just doesn't work for everyone else.
Well, we beat Moon Boys at Nats.
That is
Beat
true.
Rampage at Nats.
Okay, that is true. All right, you'll just beat everyone then.
Gus, the last Nats game I played against you, you dumped very early.
That doesn't sound nice. I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to try palm this like reputation like off to someone else. I'm happy to give it to the Queensland guys just to make Wax really angry and upset. But you're not doing yourself any favors as well. You're really not. Jeez. Well, we'll see what bloody happens. Anyway, Dragons end up being like a talk about dumps for like 10 minutes or whatever. Have we got anything else we'd like to say about this team? I think, yeah, with the addition of like VG Master back, I can see them doing really well, but as Wax pointed out, last lining is super important in these bases, and if they can't find someone to fill it properly, it's gonna be struggle town potentially. But
I
anything
last lined
else?
a couple of times in Prenuts 1 and I had a good time.
I was literally about to say, are you
Used it to attack?
the look on
Maybe
your
I'll do it.
face, Gus, looks like I'm thinking that you're gonna do
see.
it.
I get bored too easily.
Yeah,
Everyone on this team
I
does.
feel that.
Yeah,
That's dope. Well, we're here to have some fun, aren't we?
true.
What's more fun than all 5 of us running at the same base?
What's more fun than sitting in a base for 12 minutes while nothing happens?
A lot of things actually. Dope. All right, we got 6 teams left. We're actually not doing bad time wise.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be done 2.5 hours. See how we're going. Anyway, 6th place. Good luck to you, Gus. And
Thanks,
good
man.
luck to the Canberra other team.
Oh, just quickly, why is it other team? Is it just
I
lazy?
told Finn to call his team Dragons,
Okay.
and then he didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just doesn't make sense. But
Okay, fair enough.
It
I'm
doesn't
gonna
make
roll with it.
sense.
Yeah.
That's sick. All right, 6th place. Moon Boys. Yeah, cool. So we have Taipan, Dark Passion, Mopar, Orcarai, Noodle, and Potatoes. So a similar roster to their Nats roster, but they've lost Dark Passion and Butzer, and they've got Noodle and Potato instead. Benny and I had them in 4th. Wax them in 5th. Gus had them in 6th. Wax, is this what the Moon Boys roster, or like the Eclipse roster, is going to be for Nationals, or is it a little bit different?
No, it's exactly the same. This is the Eclipse roster for Nationals.
It's exciting.
Yes. Lost.
Yeah, all you, Wax.
This team's gonna be very weird, in my opinion. I think it could do better than it 100% could be better than 6th place, but I think there's some issues that I have for myself. Like Potato hasn't trained. Potato got trained for like a week or 2 to get on this team, and then just stop playing again. So, but Potato's like at a skill level where it's fine if he doesn't play, and I think he'll actually really enjoy the way that Aubrey's going to play, and I think it will work well for him. I think their strategy will actually suit the Maze pretty well. Like the way that they play a lot of like quick 3-mans, like kind of like the Prenats 3 strategy that everyone was using a lot at Hobart. I think the Maze will suit Noodle's last lining style, and if they commit to Noodle being in the base, which they have been a lot in training, I think could be pretty decent. I don't think it suits Mopar's last lining sitting in weird corners and being a weirdo style that well, but it could still work, like if he was doing some things. But it just depends how they want to play. I think like they'll have Taipan out. Taipan plays more defensive, and then we'll take the 3rd. I think him and Potato will probably be doing a lot of the running, unless him and DP are doing a lot of the running. But this team definitely could do better than this. But I also just think there's a lot of like conversations at training and stuff about how to play and do this, and I just don't think they're at the point they want to be for Nats yet. So I will just have to wait and see how they do at pre-Nats.
Yeah, Benny correctly pointed out. I read out the team name, the team list, and then said they lost Dark Passion and Butzer, and then Dark Passion's right there. So I'm a monkey.
I was confused
Who's
what
the
he
second
meant.
player? Who's the second player they're missing then?
Butza.
Butzer.
Yeah, but sorry, who's the first player then?
Robo.
Oh.
Robo.
Ah,
Robo,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Is Robo on a different team, or is he like
Yeah,
retired?
Robo's on the 5th Queensland team, and
Okay.
Butzer's not playing because babies.
Babies. Yeah, I think I could be wrong, but I feel like Potato kind of on the Spartans field like kind of like a mid
I would
sort
say
of
so.
position. So I feel like he can kind of fill the hole that Butzer left like pretty well. So I think that kind of works out for them. And then just getting a young gun and Noodle to join the team is very exciting, and I could see them doing obviously very well, like strong Queensland team. Do you say Noodle's going to be last lining?
Depends. I think the maze might be too like big for Mopar, like fitness wise, because he's definitely getting older, and like he said it a couple times where he's just a bit out of breath and stuff. So like if he is like struggling to like last the whole game or whatever, like it might be Pug. It might be Mopar in the base. So we'll have to see.
Damn,
but
bro.
I'm not 100% sure. Like they definitely have been practicing with Noodle inside of a base that I've been seeing. It could just be for practice so that they have options.
Yeah, it
but
might just be because Potato's not at training though.
Yeah, maybe.
Potato would never last line anyway. Though,
Okay.
So.
Queenie said she's laughing in the knowledge she possesses, which makes me think she knows something.
Yeah, she's just trolling like she always does.
Tell us your secrets, Queenie.
She's not going to tell us. She's going to stare like an annoying little thing and just sit there.
Thing.
I didn't know what to say. That wasn't going to get me.
Don't get me banned off Twitch. Okay. Gus, as you pointed out before, you conquered the Eclipse team at.
I think it was
Nationals.
because of an injury in the last day.
But that's.
Was it Dark Passion was injured and like was out of the
Dark
last game?
Passion was, like,
but I think we beat them
like-
once before that at full strength, which Butzer said. To me, so, yeah,
Well,
you know,
like, did you?
it was hard
did you verse
games.
these
They
guys
beat us
quite a
more than
lot?
we beat them for sure. Yeah, we versed them quite a lot in Cascades.
Have you got any like impressions or feelings on how you think they'll play this arena?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's sick.
Just attack the base on whichever side Orkrai is not on. That's all I remember.
Yeah, dude's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I could definitely see Orkrai playing.
There's some solid doors for Orkrai to play on.
Yeah,
in my
true.
opinion. Like
Yeah,
I think, like I genuinely think this team could like work it out and go like let it go. But I just think that there could be some issues with like them trying to work it out early and like if they don't shoot the maze or something. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm keen to see how they go because they could be third place 100%.
Absolutely, these guys are really solid.
Anything else we'd like to say about Moon Boys before we move into our top 5?
So to start playing Lesd again, please. At Queenie, tell your boyfriend to play Lays Tag.
All right. Good luck, Moon Boys. We'll see you soon enough. 5th place, Rampage. So we have Spider, Zam, Sadlamp, Polchrome with their new edition Whippet, which is very cool. Benny and I had them 5th. Wax had them 7th. Gus had them 3rd. So Spider, Zam, Polchrome, and Whippet all played Pre-Nuts 1. Granted, they were on different teams. Like Spider and Whippet played on the winning team. Zam played with the Apex boys, and Polchrome played with like Lilbo, Brock, and those guys. So I think from talking to Spider, I think the impression I got from them was, until like recent things have changed for them, which I'll allude to a little bit, I guess. I don't know how much of it's private or not, but the impression I got was they wanted to play like at least Prenuts 1 and 2, like spread out, like playing on different teams, which kind of makes sense from like a information collecting standpoint, like getting like all these different perspectives on how to play the arena, like what works and what doesn't. It's a pretty cool way of, obviously you lose out on like developing your own team's depth, like synergy in the arena, I guess. But you gain like quite a broad amount of knowledge, especially if you're able to actually share it effectively. But from what I've heard, the Sydney guys haven't been able to train as much recently, with some stuff going with their side up. So I guess they've abandoned that plan and they're just going to make the most of these Prenuts tournaments, which totally fair. And hopefully, side up stops being a bumhole.
I think it's gotten better from what I've been told. So
okay, that's sick.
Yeah, but zero team training, which is always the case for Rampage. But I genuinely think like I put them 7th because of all those things, like not as much training. I know from talking to Spider that he's not as keen about laser tag right now. He's finding it a lot more difficult. So I just think like the motivation for this team has gone down a little bit, and I think it's going to be like a tournament to ease themselves back into. Hopefully, like everyone's still playing well. Like Fulcrum came up to Queensland for 3 weeks during Christmas because he had nothing to do and he just trained. And like I think he definitely somewhat improved, but I think he's still got a lot to learn. And and playing Prenuts 1 with Whippet as well, like Whippet did solid, but I think watching, talking, and like seeing like how she plays, how she thinks about laser tag, there's still a lot to learn and like a lot to like grow on. And Side Lamp's always just a solid, like just a decent player who like just holds his own. I think this team can do like pretty well. I just hope that the main issues that always come up with Spider teams don't come up like with this Rampage. I hope that Zam actually gets to like properly captain, hands off from Spider. Spider can just like sit in that CV spot that you were talking about and just dominate in the middle there, like them having Sad Lamp and whoever and Pulcrum pushing or whoever their last line is. I hope they commit to Whippet last lining, but I'm not complaining if Whippet's on a door. Like Whippet on a door is like just as good. I just hope whatever they commit to, they work it out. They actually like improve and just don't be down on yourself about it. Like just play, get better, talk about it, and don't be like, oh, it's the home side. It's the home side. Nationals is where it matters. Like you guys could like do so well at Nationals if you guys work out all the core fundamentals and actually improve as a team and stuff. I think it'd be really interesting to see.
Yeah, 100%. Gus, you got anything you'd like to add about Rampage?
I think the addition of Whippet to this team is going to be huge. If they kind of listen to her insight about the maze, how to play it, what to do, they're going to do well.
I will say not that. She was trying to tell us some crazy things at Prenuts 1 that I'll throw her under the bus for. They wanted to just play box in Albury and not play V at Red because they thought the box was better. How crazy is that?
Yeah, you can't be always right, but probably in the Albury League meta, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to
I reckon these guys are gonna smash it.
Yeah, I mean, you've put them in third, Gus.
Zam's
so
captaining Spider sleeping all comp.
Some big things.
That's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, you put them third. You really think they're gonna cook us?
I reckon they are.
Well, you gotta sell it to us.
You gotta speak about it.
You gotta sell it to us. What's going on?
That's it. Whippet's the best. How can they lose with Whippet?
Fair. That is fair. She's just won a tournament as well, so
true.
She's on a hot streak.
I guess she definitely between Spider and Whippet, I'm sure they learned quite a lot playing with the the ultimate laser tag. What's the word?
The
Go on.
nerds. The fucking nerds. That's what I
Yeah,
wanted to call
big
the team.
old nerds. Madcans and Cyrex are probably the most like. Every time you look at them at a competition, they're like probably talking to each other, and it's 100% about like laser tag, about the like how to play like some crazy stuff they've been cooking up or whatever. So I'm sure they learned quite a lot. And I guess like you would have something good to say sometimes, maybe. I don't know about that, but I'm sure they learned a lot from Prenuts 1, especially being able to play the finals and actually win. So if they're able to translate some of that success to this team, yeah, could definitely see them doing very well. I don't know. I think a third isn't like making the finals definitely isn't outside the realm of possibility, but I think I'm only hesitant because I know the teams above are like cracked. Super stacked in the top 5. Yeah, I don't know. Has anyone? I'm glad that Sadlamp's actually playing this tournament because Prenuts 1, he just
Putting
organized
God's work.
the
Like he
entire
was
thing.
just
Yeah,
going the whole
true.
time.
Yeah, so I hope that they've. I think I said this to him as well, but the tournament for like it being the first like NSWLA ran tournament, I think they did really well, but I think they definitely needed to share out the workload of like actually the tournament coordinating aspect. So I'm glad that he's been able to play this tournament, but I hope he's not having to do like the same like play and do all the TCing he was doing as well, because that's a lot to ask of someone. Anyway, I've got nothing else to say. What about you guys? Nah.
Trophy for sure. That's it.
All right. Let's see it. In 4th place, we have Thunderclap. This, again, for me, was a really, really hard team to place. I'll get into that a little bit later. But we have Runt, Twinkles, Shuri Kitty, Dom, Tiger. Benny and myself placed them 6th. Wax had them 3rd, and Gus had them in 5th. Yeah. I think for me, what made it really, I like flip-flopped between having this team like anywhere between 1st and 6th. But it was really hard because obviously we have the Runt and Twinkles combo is,
The dream
cracked.
team. Yep.
It's cracked. It's like one of the best like duos we've like seen.
Number 1 laser tag power couple.
Power couple, that's the one.
Is that what you're looking for before?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the
Yeah,
one. Yeah. And also like this comp being on H2, like they were able to.
Yeah.
They were able to do that at Prenuts 1 on Nexus. Like it's Prenuts 2 is just gonna be same story. Twinkles continues to give me nightmares on how good he is at hitting phases. So I definitely expect him to just walk into these bases. And then the bit that made it difficult for me to place them higher was just like the unknown of like how Shuri Kitty, Dom, and Tiger are gonna play with Runt and Twinkles. And then also like Dom and Tiger, they played on Cerberus. So like the Hobart C team, and they obviously they did very well. Their stats were like really crazy. Like when you can see their stats there are from Hobart. Really good stats. But they haven't been exposed. Obviously they train against the Vikings and the Archangels guys, but they haven't been exposed in a tournament to like playing against like 2 top tier teams, let's say. And it's kind of it's a whole different vibe in there when you've got 2 top tier teams. So the reason I had them in 6th was just like the unknown of like how well they're going to play when there is like everyone in the arena is cracked. But yeah, I don't know. Runt's in the chat now. Have you, Runt, been training as this squad in preparation for Prenuts, or have you not? And if you have, like, how's the training been going? How are you feeling about it? But
I'd like to hear as well how like who wins mostly out of you guys versus the other good Hobart team there.
so we've done 2 training sessions. All right. Runt reckons we're cooking on this one because every team around is like full match teams.
He's
I
just
think he's
yapping.
just-
He's
he's
just
yapping.
yapping. H2 still the only people with H2 that are like high
Yeah.
end. Like Outlaws aren't there, like won't be there for ages.
Pre-Natch
there's-
3, there'll be a H2 team.
Yeah, that they've still got such an advantage. This whole team plays H2 all the time. Like genuinely, Run and Twinkle's running around. Shura Kitty is like really good. Like actually really good. Knows what she's doing. Very chill. Very quiet, but she's still just gonna kill you. Like she might not
Yep.
come very well, but she's just gonna kill you. So it doesn't even matter if she doesn't come or not. Like Tiger in a base, pretty good. Switch with Twinkles, Twinkle in a base, pretty good. Like I genuinely think this team is about to like go crazy because it's a 2-day comp where there's an hour of training. No one's going to be able to pick up H2 that quickly. Their timing's going to be better than everyone. They're like I struggled to put them lower than this. Like lower than this. Like
Yeah.
I genuinely think they're going to do really well. Like Runt's tactics in a game aren't crazy, but he's still like one of the best captains. And even if he's not one of the best captains, he gets so much value in other things. And I think like Runt was Dom is was a captain, so he can be kind of controlling the back end and like getting the good flow of when to push and stuff. And like I just see this team being able to do very well off pack skill alone. And I think everything else doesn't really matter right now. Like, because I think it's going to be too difficult to beat them in 2 days on that for the teams lower than them, in my opinion.
So I mean, the base average start there is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
That's
Like they're getting
gnarly as
10.
hell.
Like they're chilling.
Yeah, that's gnarly as hell. But there's only one
We'll
elite
shout out
player on the
Tigers.
team, Tiger.
Tiger's denied stats here.
2.1. Let's go, Tiger.
Very solid.
Let's go, my
Sign
man.
of a great player.
The sign of yeah. In the greatest of all time discussion when you're pulling numbers like that. So yeah, rookie stuff from Runt and Twinkle's not good enough.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. No, I think the team will have like all of their bases pretty well covered. I don't know how many like sick door defenders they have. I guess that's like something they're missing. Like obviously you said before, like Shuri Kitty will do like good on the DOS and she'll kill people, but like she is pretty quiet from memory.
That's fine though if you're dead. It's fine if you're dead.
Okay, yeah, sure. Until you lose, you only have to lose one duel, and that can be
as
a
long as you
base,
can make
right?
the comms when you die. Yeah,
Which I think she does. And Dom's loud as well, so I think he'll make
Yeah.
up for it.
true.
But yeah, when I look at this team, and no one stands out to me as like, oh, like they're like a main like door defender. Except me.
Certainly not on the level as like Leper and CV for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I could see that being like a hole, but then also again, like if you've got someone quick like Tiger or Twinkles that have really good switch holds under a base, especially in blue and red, it's like it's not gonna
Be
matter
crazy.
anyway. So yeah, a team I can't really throw shade for Wax putting them as high as third, but yeah, there's just the unknowns, and that's why I had them down in sixth. But very excited to see how this team does. It's a very interesting one, and yeah, I don't know. I think Wax made some good points. I think definitely like initially, even if this team doesn't finish in the top three, I could see them at the start of the tournament being like in the top three,
Like
for
round
sure.
robin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is like the point where they prove if like it's only two of the Vikings, but like this is the team that if they can do it on H2 again out of Maze with this team and they can make finals, then they prove to everyone that like it's not just a home side thing and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
No matter where. So it's just
For-
a H2 thing.
Yeah, that'll be the excuse for everyone. But you see, it was on Helios 2 this tournament. I'm sure they get sick of that. But yeah, I don't know. Have you guys got anything else you'd like to say?
No, I think that's good.
Get to
Oh,
know it
sick.
slightly more, Dom, so you can be in
Yeah.
the cool kids club.
The 2.0.
Just like
Shuri
yeah,
Kitty with
that's-
1.7 denies per game is pretty insane too.
that's correct. I guess yeah, that's definitely like a door defender moment
Yeah.
for sure. So
Yeah,
works
don't
his
come,
way.
let him in, and then deny him.
and then deny him
Exactly.
afterwards. Yeah, that's sick.
Easy points.
All right. Cool. I don't know. Good luck to Thunderclap. Looking forward to seeing y'all. And yeah, looking forward to see if you guys can prove if it was just a home Nats thing, one hit wonders, or if they're gonna keep destroying everyone. Next we have in third place. Oh yay! It's my team. Awesome. Aftershock. So, yeah. So people might be wondering, is this the new Aftershock roster? For Nats, yes, it is. So I think the big things missing from Nats is we don't have Fuggan or Chutch this year. So Fuggan he's like studies Japanese in uni, and he's going on a 6-month exchange from like March to Japan. He's going to be in Tokyo for 6 months.
It's really rough for you guys to lose your best 2 players.
Yeah, it sucks. Thanks.
Humbling him. As we go. Take a second. It's okay. Take a breath.
Let me just collect myself. Okay. Yeah. So we've lost Fuggan, who was our in-game leader and lead attacker for Hobart and Bendigo. So that'll be a bit of an adjustment. And then, yeah, Chutch is obviously like powerhouse, you know, the women's GOAT. And yeah, just one of the best to just field pointing. Even if when we put her on like the worst door possible, she would still manage to like outfield point the people on like the good field point door. So I don't know where she does it or how she does it, but whatever. We've lost her as well. But pickups. We've picked up Benny and Jesse. So Benny was on Anomaly last year, and Jesse was on Adrenaline. 2 young guns that they're there every week, twice a week for training and league. Really good attitudes, you know, and
That's what you want.
yeah, they're young guns, and they're getting really good at laser tag. They're picking up all of the Aftershock like little, I guess, systems and the way we like to do things. They're picking it up really, really well. And then also we have the return of Dossie as well. So Dossie took a year off because he was traveling, but he is back on the roster.
Nice.
So yeah, as you can see, Mikey, Beefy, Benny, and I were at Pre-Nuts 1. And we finished third. Yeah, we made the grand finals. We finished third. So we'll have, you know, some insights on the arena, like some like the good spots to like push to field point and help the other bases. We kind of know how to last line like the red. Blue's going to be different now, so that'll be hard to say until we're there. And then green has apparently changed as well, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, with this new roster, which is the same roster we're going to be at Pre-Nuts 3 as well, and that's Mikey is going to be the captain, lead attacker. So he hasn't done that since 2020, so it'll be cool to see him back in the saddle. In terms of how we'll play, I don't know. I think it's obvious, but it'll probably be me out on attack first. Beefy was our main last line for Hobart, but now with Dossie back and also with the addition of Jesse on the team, I just realized it spelled G's as well. That's awesome.
Jeez, yeah.
Jeez, that's sick. With the addition of Jesse and like Dossie coming back, like between the 3 of them, they're all like cracked last lines. So I think Beefy
really thrives on a door, right?
Yeah, I think Beefy's last line style is also less suited to like the red and blue base we played in Pre-Nuts 1 specifically. I think that's more of like a quick switch holdy kind of thing, which I think Dossie and Jesse will do probably better than Beefy did. So I would expect Beefy will probably be on like the back doors are like all of the bases are very brawly. And it's like very like you have to win a standoff with someone to be able to like make any ground. It's not like you can like shoot them from far away. So Beefy will probably be occupying that back door for most of the game. Dossie will probably be last lining most of the time, and then it'll be between myself, Benny, and Jesse, going out, getting bases, field pointing, helping out the attack. Yeah, I don't know. We don't play a super crazy game. It virtually is just like a 3-2. We just like adds a little bit of flavor in here and there. We've been training together as the full squad for the last few weeks. That means that Mikey like dislocated his finger really bad. It was gross. He sent us an X-ray. It was disgusting. But so he's not been able to train as much. Obviously, we had the big.
Is he going to be
well,
good for pre-nats? Or?
Yeah, he's fine now. He's fine now. He's had one session back, and we'll have the qualify next week. Okay. But yeah, we've just been working on getting Jesse Benny up to speed with the Aftershock things, and even Dossie. Like I feel like the difference between Aftershock in 2022 versus like 2023, like Bendigo versus Hobart, was
huge.
Was massive. So I think even though Dossie played 2020 and 2022 with us, I still kind of thinking him in the same boat as Benny and Jesse in terms of like new people coming to the team, just because of like how much advancements we made. But yeah, the boys are, they're doing well, picking up stuff. It's a little bit of a slog sometimes, but yeah, it's all in the name of progress. And I think we're just really eager to get out there to a tournament and really see how we go our first time as this squad. But That's enough bloody rambling from me. What do you guys reckon? You both put us fourth, so
that's the classic Aftershocks position.
Yeah. I initially had us in fourth for the meme, but then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
It's good to see Benny believes in you guys at least.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Okay. So if you haven't been paying attention, Benny and my predictions were the exact same. The only thing he changed was he put us in first instead. So there we go.
He's cooking. Man. He backs you. I back it. I back it. I like it.
You need that on a team.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm very keen to see a lot of things with you guys, because I think at Pre-Nat 3 there was some issues that you needed like to work out, and like it was hard for you to solve. But I think like seeing that this is your Nats team, it's going to be good to like work through those at Pre-Nats together and like actually develop the team as it is. Like, and I think it'll be very interesting because like I think you guys had a very big, in my opinion, I'm not 100% sure if it's what you think as well. Like you had a lot of pack issues. Like there was a lot of pack point issues and stuff, and I think it was hard for you guys to like, you would be on the same bases and maybe you think you're in the game, but you're not because you're really far behind on the pack. So it'll be interesting to see how you guys like work that out. And I think like Jesse's stats aren't very crazy here, but like I've seen that man play and he can play. Like he's very, very good. And if you guys use him well and he can like actually improve, I think it could be a very good like addition to the team and stuff. I think if I don't remember Dossie being the craziest switch holder, but maybe I'm just misremembering and it's been a while.
He just does like a standard switch. He doesn't do anything like super fancy, but he just does he likes like I have it here. Hold on. Helios 2 version, that's crazy.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, he likes like the standard switch where like the Gundam goes up and over like this.
Yeah, I just don't remember him being very quick at it, and I think at red and old blue, not the new blue, you needed to be fast. But I think it will still be fine. He'll adapt. He'll be fine. He'll do well under. I'm just very interested to see how you guys like do sitting rotations, and like I don't remember Mikey being the craziest captain, but I'm keen to see if he can take. Like I think Fucking did very well for like the years he was captaining, and it's just going to be hard for him to step into that, and I hope he can well. And I know the meme is that like Mikey has captained a bunch of times and people didn't know, but like maybe there's a reason people didn't know and it was hard to like feel his presence. So I hope like that he like steps into it and actually like takes charge of the team, because I think if you guys have someone who can do that, like you're going to be running around doing your thing. If he's then grabbing Benny or Jesse to come as a third and doing good pushes and picking good timings and stuff, I think the team could do really well. Like it just depends if the flow of the team and how that works out. Because I think this maze is genuinely going to be a very hard, like there's going to be a lot of 3-man pushes, like a lot of 3-man pushes. Because I think, especially from red and green, I think blue is going to be able to cook a little bit more, but those top 2 bases are going to be a lot of like aggression, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how captains like manage that.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
Beefy's old and washed though. So L man's.
Man just needs to not tear his calf muscle and we'll be right. Gus, what have you got to say, bro?
Watching you play and reffing your games, playing against you guys, like you had it down to kind of like a really kind of fine procedure. You always knew where everything was supposed to be, and if like Dossie and Jesse and Benny can kind of fit into those roles, and you guys keep playing the way you were, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
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 And it's going to be like you and Beefy kind of empowering Mikey to captain and empowering the other guys, and how much that takes away from you guys to try and get them up to that level.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that was something. When I say that there was a big leap between 2022, like Bendigo versus Hobart,
Yeah.
one of the big differences we did was we had pretty much the same team structure from Bendigo to Hobart. The thing that was different is how much we put on the plate of our in-game leader. Bendigo, Sean had a lot on his plate, or Fuggan had a lot on his plate, and so that obviously impaired his just like decision making, the speed of his decision making, like the quality of the decisions, and then also impacts like when you're thinking about that much stuff, it impacts your mechanical play like a bit as well.
Yeah.
But one of the big adjustments we made from between the Bendigo and Hobart was like, okay, like what can we do to like lessen the load on our in-game leader, so they have to make less decisions, and there's more onus on the rest of the team to do stuff, and that's still very much in place. And like you said, I think Jesse, Benny, Dossie will probably be doing less of that, sharing the burden of like the making, kind of managing the team and decisions and stuff. But yeah, between Beefy and I, that's definitely like the role we'll fill in between like our actual positions in the game. Will be trying to support Mikey in like the relaying of making sure the information gets relayed to him, suggesting things if like we can see he's like getting like frozen, he's like not sure what to do, like we can be like, we should do this, and then he can go like, yeah, let's do it.
That's always amazing to do, having like a vice
making sure that
captain.
like the right information gets taken to the decision maker kind of thing as well.
Yeah,
It just makes it so much easier to captain if you have someone like giving you some info at the same time.
Yeah.
So
And then you can kind of trust everyone to be doing the right stuff as well.
Yeah, 100%. So Beefy will be like defending like most of the game, pretty like, I guess the second to last line almost in a way, in terms of like how like involved he'll be with the defense. So
what an actual anchor should be called.
yeah. And then like I'll be in the mid, like I'll be seeing a lot of stuff. So like between the two of us, we'll have a good spread of like vision and information flow coming through. So, but it's just about, information's all well and good, but if you don't have a clear way of like what you want to do with that information, then it's just information. It's not going to do anything tangible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited. Benny, Jesse, really excited for them to like Benny. I mean, Benny already started to prove himself a little bit more. Like Prenuts 1, he actually had a 2.0 base average until like halfway through Cascade 2 or something like that. Like, dude was getting bases. The grand finals, he got the first base of the game against like all of these like crazy players. He's like, yeah, whatever.
It was wild as
easy.
well.
Yeah.
He literally was easy. He like just shot the base, and I was like, brother, what just happened?
It was light work for Benny.
Light work for Benny.
Nice.
And then as Wax pointed out, Jesse's stats there are not an indication of how good the guy is. But I don't have to say any more. You guys will find out soon enough. I think before I wrap up, you definitely correctly identified, Wax, that like the big thing we've struggled with at Prenuts 1, and I think something we're going to struggle with without Chutch and without Fuggan, because I think the way I see the big difference between Fuggan and Mikey is like both of their decision making is good, but I think Fuggan is able to keep up his field points and tag ratio better than Mikey is when he's captaining. So with losing Fuggen and Church, like the field points is definitely like the area that we're going to struggle in a
Yeah.
bit. But that's what we've been focusing on for the last like month of training. So
I also didn't want to
unless
cook him in my rant, but Benny knows what I'm gonna say. Benny, I believe in you. That's all I'll say.
That's all you say. Sick. All right. Have you guys got anything else you'd like to say about Aftershock?
I'd love to see you guys in finals. Do it.
Fourth
Yeah.
place. Here we come.
I just can't help myself. No, we're awesome at making finals and pre-nets. It's just when it really matters. Well, then I'm like, I don't know. Fourth is funny. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not. Anyway, I'm gonna cry. Moving on.
All right.
Second place, we have Isotopes. Wax, Gus, and I had them in second. Benny had them in third. On the team, we have Cyrex, Madcans, Shock, Fireboard. That's the name of the scoreboard that Runt and Twinkle did. Watch the podcast. Find out more about it.
Nice.
Anyway, cheeky
Plug.
and Peregrine. So as we can see, everyone except Peregrine was at Pre-Nuts 1. Like Cyrex, Madcans were on the winning team with UX, and then Shock and Firebird played together on the team that came 5th, I believe. Yeah. Take it away, Wax Center.
Oh God. I'm very keen to see how they play because this is going to be not a full team because Peregrine's not on this team for nationals. They're going to have Moss and Bones. But I'm very keen to see how they play. I genuinely think they could also like 100% beat us like pretty easily because we're at a rocky like stage right now where we're trying to like work things out. But I had to back myself and put us first because ego tings, and I think that's fine. Yeah. You have to. If you don't, you're gonna lose anyway. So what's the point?
We need to take a book out of the Europeans. A book
literally.
Out of a page out of their book. Because if you didn't see it for the Sweenats predictions, all 3 of my guests placed their own team in first.
Number 1. Yeah.
And I'm here for that. I want that.
I respect that.
I think that's perfect.
Only one of them was right.
I'm very interested to see how this team plays though, because like, so Cairns isn't captaining. If people don't know, so that's like the big thing that I'm keen to see how it goes, because as much as like Firebird is a good captain, I think it will be difficult for the team with 3 captains to function, and it depends how easily Cairns can let go of that like the reins. And if it's a thing that's easy for him, then they'll do really well. But if it's a thing that he's going to struggle with, and maybe they might have some arguments about strategies or plans in the game and things like that, it might be an issue. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
So is Firebird captain?
So yeah, I'm pretty sure, unless it's changed, it's Brock captaining, and he'll attack first with Shock. And Cairns has been practicing mid a lot at training and stuff. So I think Cairns will be their mid. Peregrine will definitely be their last line, and Cyrex will just be on the solid back door on all the bases.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's like the positionings, like if it ends up being Brock captaining, I think the positionings are it's pretty like where you're expecting people to play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Madcans in mid will be super interesting.
Yeah.
I think he'll be able to have a massive impact on the game, and I think he'll. Like being a captain and understanding the like when you want to bolster your defense and when you want to help your attack, like as the mid. I think that'll all of the years he spent captain will be really help in his decision making in that mid position. So I'm very curious to see how that works. I think obviously, like you said, like having a bunch of captains on the same team, if like big personalities get in the way and people ego get in the way, then you're going to be having we've seen it before of like teams that have 2 people that make like different comms in the game, and then like
everything just falls apart.
It just
no one knows what's going on.
If stuff like that happens, then not good. But if it's just Mad Kens has the freedom to make like little individual decisions and stuff, like in terms of how he positions himself as the mid, like I think that's totally fine. And
Which
yeah,
I think
I'm
works very
excited.
well in Albury. Like 100%.
Yeah.
Having a more aggressive mid can be useful as hell in this
He's
game.
he's got the like game sense, knowledge, and experience to kind of like be where he needs to be. I think
Yeah.
so. I think it's a good call.
I think that's the way like a lot of the front doors play in Albury, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not like you know for you to be able to push up and help your attack as the front door defender on like all of the bases, you have to go like pretty far. So like when you do it, you don't want to just be making the decision like willy-nilly. Like it has to be
Yeah.
like okay, like we are up on bases, we don't need any more, we're being attacked, so I'm going to bolster our defense. Or vice versa, like we're doing okay field points, but we're just like not getting enough bases. We need to bolster our attack more. And I think the front door is like the perfect door to do that from. Because of like the distance you have to travel, I guess, is longer. So you get like the decision has to be more well thought out. But also the back doors, like all the back doors are pretty like lockdownable. So if you were going to defend with 2 on any of these bases, you would want 1 in last line and 1 on the back door. If not 2 in the base, which you could do in blue a little bit, but yeah. I don't know. A lot of brains on this team between Mad Kens and Cyrex, obviously. I mean, not to say the rest aren't smart, but obviously they are the classic like yeah. They're two of the biggest brains in the sport at the moment. I'm looking forward to see what they cook together. No one is at the coveted 2.0 denies though, so
True.
yeah, I don't know.
Brock's close.
I word 1.5.
Come on, Brock. Get there. Then you won't be dumb. You will not have
Surely-
the dumb.
Surely on Helios 2, like we'll see a few of those, right? Like
Surely.
just with the
Yeah.
shots. It has to be.
Especially in green, like sticking the laser up to shoot the base.
yeah, over like the half height. Oh
Yeah.
no.
I am
Oh,
fully
no.
prepared for like one of the worst like pre-nat space experiences. I feel like red is just going to be as dominant as it was at Hobart pre-nats 1. Like
I think green will be
Yeah.
dominant because then you never have to attack green.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That's so true. You're just gonna be getting denied to shit on green base with phaser shots. No one's getting it. But I think also like I don't know. I feel like between like the push from green to red or red
Yeah.
to green, I think the red to green feels
It's
a little
so
bit stronger
good.
because
It's good. Yeah.
you can get closer to the base than green can without getting shot. And the green front door push is like the weakest push in the game because you have like 1 bajillion sight lines onto you. And as far as
Yeah.
I'm aware, that hasn't changed. So yeah, it'll be hard to get green, but I don't know. I think
It's going to be hard to defend it as well.
Yeah. And I think the red V last line will be just as strong as it was, like obviously not just as strong, but like very close to how strong it was at Prenats 1. Because even though there's the threat of the phaser shot, like the V is pretty far away from both of the baselines, especially the front door baseline. It's like 20 meters away from the front door baseline. So the last line's going to have a lot of time to be patient and like wait for the person running in to take a shot and then shoot. You know, they're not going to feel pressure to like, oh, someone's like, oh, and then they get phaser shot, you know? Yeah. Anyway, we'll get back to isotopes.
I think it will be very
Uh,
interesting with
yeah.
this team though, because like Brock can take Shock out first. They can have good 3-man attacks with cans coming through, and then when Shock's done, I feel like his last lining is very good. So I think he can switch out with Peregrine, and it feel like nothing has changed, and it's just like someone else is outside who can get bases now, and their last line is like just as solid. And I think that's going to be a very like utilized thing on this base in this maze. It'll be very good for them.
Nice.
100%. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. Have you got anything, Gus?
I don't think so. these guys should definitely be in finals. Like
Oh,
once
yeah.
once they get
There's
there,
no
anything
world.
can happen. Yeah.
With how they're playing and training and stuff, there's no world they're not in finals unless they literally start killing each other. It's the only way.
All right. Well, yeah. Excited to see this new, almost the full new Storm roster with like special guest Peregrine. Excited to see how this dynamic goes with Madkens on the team now. It's gonna be very
Yeah.
interesting. Moving on. First place. Catalyst boys. So Wax, Gus, and I put him in first. Benny put him in second, naturally, beneath us. On the team, we've got Wham, Wax, Husky, Lubo, the return of the Falcon. I'm so happy. And Dodge. Obviously, we had Wax and Lubo attended Prenats 1. Wax was on the winning team, and Lubo was on that on the 5th place team. So definitely had a good showing at Prenats 1. But Wax, Falcon's back. Jimmy's back.
Jimmy's
Tell us about
back.
this. How's it been going?
He's still a bit rusty. So not
Rusty.
too hot, but I think like he hasn't been playing much, and I think Prenats 1 would be a good way to like kick him back into gear. And I think after the weekend, he might suck all weekend, but I think he's already at a point where like he's still doing like pretty okay. Like I just think it'll be interesting if like this weekend and then he gets a little bit more push, he gets a little bit more like motivated. I think it'll be very good for him. Originally when I put us first, the meme was going to be because I was captaining and I was egoing that I'm like going to be like the craziest captain and I was going to joke around and shit. But now Dodge has just been like, actually, I'm coming. Fuck you. You don't get
Actually,
to captain.
I'm the best captain.
I am the captain now. So he's egoed me and now I don't get to captain and I'm sad about it.
Yeah, so for people that maybe weren't aware, obviously we're missing Grub on this team, who has been captain in Catalyst the last couple nationals. But yeah, Dodger's taking on the reins. What can people expect from like Dodger's captaining, like like in-game leading? Is it what's it like?
I think it's very similar to Grub. Like I think the Queensland people all captain very similar, like very similar and stuff. They have like snore. But we've only done like one training and like it didn't go too well, but it's the first training and we didn't expect anything. So it is what it is. And when Dodge and I attacked, it went well. So that's all like I'm keen to see how I can play with Dodge, and I'm very excited to like let that play out. And yeah, I'm just keen to see how we go in general. Like I also don't think there's a chance we could just suck this Prenats because we just haven't got there yet, and maybe there's a couple things we need to work out, and we don't even make finals, and that's fine because it's just Prenats. Like I just want to be able to work it all out, and hopefully we can throughout the weekend just get a little bit I feel like Jimmy's going to struggle on H2 very early. Like he swings his phaser out still a lot, and I've been telling him that he needs to like watch it and stuff. So I think it's going to take him a little bit to adapt. But I think the rest of us, like everyone, felt like they were pretty good on H2. Like no one had any issues. So I'm keen to see how we go, and I'm just excited to play with the boys. It's going to be fun little Prenats. Crazy.
100%. Gus, you got any thoughts about?
How close is this to your proper Nats team?
This is the proper Nats team.
Nice.
So we lost Grub because he's going to Europe at the exact same time as nationals.
Yeah, classic.
Sick.
So Jimmy's gonna play for 1 year and then probably dip again, but unsure of what his plan is at this point.
Yeah. I think not having you as captain is probably a good call. Like you're too good at not being captain to be captain. Like because it like it'll lower your tag ratio and stuff, and you'll have to like do all the captaining stuff in the game. So it's probably good that Dodge is captain.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that it's probably good that Wax isn't captain because he's dumb as hell or something
shit.
like that.
I was waiting for it, but then I got backhanded compliments. So I'll take it.
Yeah, no, sick. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, I think this will be good. I think if you guys are having fun and playing well, like you guys should smash it.
Yeah, it's hard to ever place you guys anywhere outside of like first.
First.
Given your track record, but yeah,
I think there's a big chance that we don't get first this tournament, and that's fine. It's just like as long as we take a lot away from it.
Yeah.
That's the main.
You learn more from not coming first. You know?
Exactly. Like I just want us to make finals so that we get those 3 extra games. That's all that
games,
is
yeah.
there.
Nice.
All that matters.
For sure. In terms of, so did you say you did a training session together? Like
Yeah, we did it on Wednesday, and it didn't go too well. But
you did some team games or just
Yeah.
drills?
team games, first like proper team games with not even proper teams, but we were like the full team. But Husky ditched us.
Did Falcon use the last line, or am I misremembering?
So he could last line, and at Rumble he did last line for us sometimes when because Payne took Husky out first a lot because Payne and I can't attack together. So he last line for us in Rumble, but when he was on Beavers, I think he didn't last line as much because I think Callum last lined a lot.
Oh yeah, true.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, in terms of like the positionings of where people will play, like we got Dodge, lead attacking, game leader. You out first with him.
Well, that's undecided yet. I might play mid, but we're still trying to work that out.
Okay. Who would go out first if not you?
Probably Little Bow.
Okay.
Or whatever. We're just gonna play around with it. We're just gonna see what the vibe is and just go from there. There's a bunch of team training and stuff after pre-nat, so we're just gonna like slowly like work out what we want to do and stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, obviously, like you've got all of your bases covered in terms of where you play people. So,
What do you think your odds of coming first are, Wax?
I actually don't know. I don't think it's very high. I think it's like 30% or something, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like I think this is definitely like a time that if we want to do well, we have to like really work for it over the 3 days that we're there.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much that we haven't even like worked out kinks and stuff, and like Dodge captaining and how he wants to play, how people bounce off him. Just like literally, we're just restarting from. It's pretty much just a new team.
Yep.
I
So
think it's a good way to do it as well. I think it's actually something relating to my own like aftershock with the changes we've made. I think a mistake we made in our first I'd say 2 to 3 2 to 4 weeks of training is we kind of were still playing as if we were the same aftershock that we played in Hobart, in spite of the fact that we had basically three new players because Dossie's had taken quite some time off. I think we almost, I don't want to say waste, but we could have used our training better if we treated it as if we were a brand new team forming. So I think there's a lesson there for everyone out there. If you are, forming a new team of maybe it's 50-50, half the players are existing players in the team and half are new. I think it's wise to do what Wax said and kind of treat it as if it is a new team rather than kind of almost pretending that it's the same team when it's obviously it's not.
You're always going to default back to your old ways and stuff, but it's going to be things you're going to have to work out, like what you're saying with Church being gone, losing so much pack and stuff. It's just things you're going to have to do differently. You can't just do it the exact same and expect it to work the same. You have to actually think about it and work out what works for you now and the different changes and stuff. And that's what we're doing. I'm very keen.
The strengths of your new team.
Exactly. I'm very keen to see how Dodge wants to captain. I think he's going to have a very exciting take on it, and I think I'm keen to watch it happen and let him cook. Literally just if he wants to play that way, just let it happen. Let him work out what works for him, work out his style and what he wants to do. And I'm just here for that. I'm for the ride.
Yeah, sick. All right, well, have we got anything else we'd like to say about Catalyst before we kind of wrap up the show?
I don't think so.
I just want to ego Husky quickly. He got dominated in Hobart. He was there for 2 weeks and got absolutely destroyed. So
Okay.
come to more training, chunky boy.
Damn.
Probably not even
All
watching,
right.
but
Sick. All right, let me really clumsily go to the other screen. I'll stop sharing. Oh, geez, that looks awful. Transition. That looks a bit better. Yeah, sick. Cool. Well, yeah. There's our predictions for pre-nats 2. Super stacked tournament. Super keen. Like lots of big questions, like between the, like how the Hobart guy is going to do out of their arena on H2. How are the Catalyst guys going to do with like a new captain and Jimmy coming back? How is Storm going to do with Madkens like not captaining a team? Lots of big questions, and next week we're gonna bloody find out, aren't we?
Can't wait.
Have you?
How's
either of
Aftershock
you-
gonna do without Chutch and Fuggin?
Oh yeah, there's another one. I don't know. I'm really cut that what you said before, Gus. Actually, I'm really cut, but
I was just friendlily bullying you.
yeah, whatever, man. Anyway,
do you want to show the new maze map, or do you just want to?
like it's not like finalized, is it, or is it finalized? I don't know.
I don't think it's
pull it up.
finalized, but there's
I'll
no
pull
harm in pulling up what we have.
Pull it up. All right. It just means I have to transition to my shitty transition again. Where am I? Window. No. I stream. Oh, I feel like an old man every time I try.
Oh, thank you, sad lamp. I'm
What's he
actually
done?
happy. He said not
happening?
finalized yet, which gives me hope. Gives me hope. We're not a dominant red base
Not for
Oh, wait.
Nats or
This is the one I was messing around with.
for pre-nats. The changes.
Okay.
Oh, thank gosh! I'm so happy.
Okay. Hold up. Share.
What do you
Go to
mean?
my other
Don't
screen. Transition. Bang.
Wait. This is wrong.
No, it's not.
This is the
No,
one
it is
that
wrong.
you drew.
This is what I was messing around with. Well, I don't have the other one on me right now.
Alright, I guess you can just say what's different.
Yeah. So the changes that are Sadlamps just told us that it's not finalized. So, chill.
so everything could be different by next week.
Everything could be different. But green base, the T has been flipped the other way. Nothing at red's changed. The other change was so the blue. This was me messing around with it. This is not what it is. What it is it's the same structure with like the 2 flat walls, the 3 flat walls. Sorry, but on the new one, the 2 walls that are on the outermost bit are like up, and then the middle one is down. So it's kind of like the same structure, but like flipped upside down.
So you have no vision and it's boring. Change it to this, please. Please, sad lamp. Or whoever matters.
Yeah, obviously, those were the only changes that I've heard of recently. Also, I did a little thing on the maze map. I put like a line through these because they're like half height barrels. For those of you that haven't played Pre-Nats 1, these aren't full height barrels. They're like a half height stack of tires. Is there anything in the chat? Yeah, I think I'll kind of talk about it a little bit now, but I think, I think I really enjoyed the Insider Blue, so I'm personally I could have gone without the change, but this new one might play well. We won't know until we're there. I think the things I would have liked to have changed, and Wax and I have been talking about it, is still one of the least fun parts of the arena to play was the front door of green, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sight lines. 5 if you include people shooting you from sweep, and nowhere really to stand outside of this tiny wall here. You just get shot to crap the entire game. So I would have liked to have had a little bit more like an L structure or a T structure in this front door, so the front door defender can actually like live and take duels. The other thing, Wax, I'll let you rant about it, but like this half, like the grill here.
Just get rid of the grills, please. You can get so much free vision from under to like back of green door. Like red is so much harder to play on this back door if that big grill isn't there because people can sneak around. So like there is actually like you having to play the game more, which is so much better. Like because red is about to just like show up and put it on the table and just like absolutely dominate everyone at pre-nats too if the changes aren't good. Because right now the way that the maze works is just red is standing above everyone and just like absolutely has free reign of everyone. And it's so hard to get into red because the dive on front door is difficult. The dive on back door is difficult, which will be easier on H2. So I'm here for that.
Yeah. Obviously, this is all, you know, a bit of theory crafting, a bit of our experience for Prenats 1, but, you know, Helios 2 might completely change everything as well. So, yeah, Sadlamp has said that the release in the new maze map, it'll be close to Prenats, but it will be the same way everyone will get a map and their round robin draw on the back. So that's very handy. But yeah, that's just a little sneak peek. Obviously, that's don't take it as gospel. That's not final. Let me transition back to my other nice screen. Boom. Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys got anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
No, I feel like we've said enough.
All right.
Oh, Wax's mic might have dropped out.
It did. Did you not hear me talk at all just then?
No.
Not the last 30 seconds.
Okay,
Since you talked about the grill.
I'm very keen to see if H2 still feels as amazing as I want, like as I remember. Like I hope I'm still like I get there, feels good, sound is good, everything feels good, and I'm just like kissing the gun because I love it so much. Like I just hope it feels as good as it did at Hobart.
Yeah, because like you get that like experience of it from Nats, and then like you don't play it for ages. You kind of like romanticize it in your mind a little bit, right? Like
yeah.
We'll see if it still holds up as good as we think it was.
Yeah.
On the topic of Helios 2, I have a instructional video coming out very soon, probably like this weekend. For those of you that haven't played on Helios 2, just talking about what I think is the best way to hold the phaser. There's a bit of a sneak peek. I don't think like I think the big decision is whether you go like screen out or screen in. And I think it's way less important than it was on H Pro. Like if you weren't playing screen in on H Pro, like you're basically throwing because of how strong it was to like just lock that thing on a wall and you couldn't be shot. But I still think there is an objective best way to hold the phaser. But if you want to find out, you'll have to tune in for that video. Also, you might not remember, but like quite a few months ago, I posted in the Facebook group that we have like a merchandise store now. It's just like a ship on what's it? Ship on demand, is that the word? On demand service thing. Anyway, just basic. It's like there's a white, black, and a red t-shirt with like our logo, and then a red, black, and white hoodie as well with the same logo. So it's pretty basic for now. I'm wearing one currently. Hello. But yeah, it's the Laser Sports Academy project has kind of been a big labor of love. And we want to be able to commit more time and resources to it, but it's getting to a point where like it's going to be hard to keep progressing without some kind of like like making a little bit of money to like fund things. So the merchandise store will be a great way to do that. And you can also wear your Laser Sports Academy merch, and it's cool. On top of that, we're also Twitch affiliated now, so you can. Another great way for you to be able to support is chuck us a subscribe and do cool Twitch things like that.
Prime subs,
all that. Obviously, I don't expect people to sub without us actually streaming, and I don't think that we've been streaming enough to warrant. Like, I would feel bad like taking sub money like with the just doing like the predictions and review streams. So I'm going to be having to sit down with Butza and having a bit of a chat about like what Laser Sports Academy 2024 is looking like. But one of the things I really want to do is kind of be able to commit to a more of a regular streaming schedule, so it can be like a
New maze every
worthwhile
week.
thing. New maze every week. My brain would fry. But anyway, yeah, 2024 is going to be big for Laser Sports Academy. I'm personally going to obviously Nats, but I'm also going to the US Nationals and going to Worlds, and I plan on covering those in like I'm not sure how, but like I really want to make a lot of content around those as well. So those are just a couple really exciting things coming. Maybe a website with some really cool features and stuff on it as well. But yeah, you know, that's all from me. Thank you very much, Wax and Gus, for joining me for our stream tonight. Yeah, hope we had fun. I had fun. That was good.
It was good. Get
Yeah,
keen
man.
for the next stream. Sharp up the next one. Give a little.
Post pre-nets review.
Oh no, the one after that, because we're gonna do a different system and test something.
Nice.
Do you want to leak the what your plan is, Wax, or do you want it to be a surprise when we do it? I think we leave it. I think it'll be.
All right, we'll just leave it.
We just yeah, it's just like it goes live and it just cuts to a camera and there's just a whiteboard behind it with them. Yeah, that'll be good. There's a little hint for you, everyone. Yeah, sick. The next stream will probably be like the Pre-Nets 1 review after the fact. So
Cool.
yeah, I'll see you then, or I'll see some of you guys at Pre-Nets 1, Pre-Nets 2. Sorry. Well, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
Peace. Goodbye. Going to my offline screen in 3, 2, 1. Bang.